Hey there, friendlies. How's up? Sorry, I'm about 2 minutes late tonight. I was having some technical issues, but we're okay now, provided you can all hear me. That is. I shall try to move this aside a little bit. Excuse me. Tenenbaum is already here. Nice to see you. Who else do we got? If you're here and you're hanging, sound off. So housekeeping, get that out of the way. I've noticed, well, I have discovered that more and more people are watching these live streams after the fact. I appreciate you people massively. It's really nice to see that you guys are watching even after the actual conversation is all over. Thank you very much. And I hope tonight's is worth your while as well. So who we got? Hey, Mike Morton is alive. Salut Simon. Tenenbaum is here. How's it going? Oops, I just bopped the thing with my things. So what do we got? Oh, hold on a second. I'm not really going off screen. I just forgot my Glencairn and my water. Tonight's beverage is Happy in the Potting Shed by the Scotch Malt Whiskey Society. That is 13.64. I believe that 13 is Dalmore. 64 is the 64th barrel the SMWS has purchased from Dalmore. I feel that the beer pouring was a lot more dramatic than the whiskey pouring, because I never knew if I was going to overflow the head or whatever. But anyways. So, hi everyone. What I'm going to do, because Tenenbaum queried me before if I was going to be putting up the link for the chit chat on this evening of evenings. Oops, I used a Mac key shortcut instead of a Windows one there. So there it is. So what we're talking about tonight, if you paid attention to my Instagram or my Facebook or the posts, the YouTube posts, what I want to talk about tonight is whether or not you buy your outdoor gear in person or online. I have reasons for this. Because I was at Mountain Equipment Co-op at the weekend buying some rain pants. And it's funny, I don't buy a lot of anything in person anymore. This may change now that I'm vaccinated and the COVIDs are sort of toning down anyway. Like, yeah, I may actually go to stores more often than I have for the past 15 months. I definitely prefer to buy stuff with my bank card than my credit card, but I don't know what's coming down the pipe. I do want to take a moment to say hi to Chris Garland. Nice to see you. Ian the Weblord, nice to see you as always. Grace, hi. Mark, hello. Pine Martin is here, and you're still on the Crownland camping site. I'm glad that you're here, because I was going to ping you before thinking that you weren't going to be here, but then I thought, well, he might not get my ping anyway. So I have a specific question for you. So who else is here? No, okay, we're good. So I'll just get the question to Pine Martin out of the way. So while I was at Mountain Equipment Co-op, I believe you wear the original bug shirt, right? And I almost bought one, but I tried on the medium and the large, and they both seemed fine. The large obviously had more room, but it wasn't tent-like on me. The reason I didn't throw my money down is because I couldn't figure out standing there how much extra space I need under one of those. Like if we're talking about winter gear, I would have gone for the large because I'll have layers and layers under it. But for something like that, the time of year that I would be wearing it at, I kind of feel that I would be trying to wear the fewest layers possible underneath, or maybe like a t-shirt and a light sweater or something. And I kind of felt that the medium would be perfect for that. But it's kind of an expensive mistake if I end up in the bush and realizing I should have really bought the large for some reason. So I wanted to ask you what your thoughts were about that before I actually buy one. Excuse me. In fact, if any of you guys wear the original bug shirt, I would love to hear you sound off. if any of you don't know what the original bug shirt is, I will. Am I going to take the time to find a URL? I think that by the time I do, Simon will have put it up like twice or something. But do you guys all know what the original bug shirt is? Hey, Parental Edges here. How's it going? I haven't spoken to you in a long time. You got some cool content out these days, man. Mike Morton just bought a rhino skin shirt for his woodland caribou. I don't know what a rhino skin shirt is. Tenenbaum says airing bigger seems more flexible. Yeah, and so I was standing there and looking at this thing. I had gone because last time I spoke to Martin, he said that I really need rain pants if I'm going to take up canoe camping in a big way. Breathable rain pants. And I realized that I had rain pants at one point, but I no longer do. So I went to buy what apparently are the most breathable ones that Mech had that I couldn't afford. The write-up said they were breathable. They were highly breathable. So, and I tried them on and they fit. Okay, so Mike, it's a bug protection shirt, but it's not the same one. Okay, it's not the same brand. And Tenenbaum wears the original bug shirt in the large size. What is it? 3XL? Yeah, so I just having one in my hands because I'd seen pictures of the original bug shirt online. And this kind of feeds into part of the reason why I wanted to talk about this tonight is that if I hadn't stood there and looked at it and seen the stitching and seen that it wasn't like a really hot material, it's not very breathable, I don't think, but it's not so bad. Like if I hadn't actually held one in my hands and thought, I will kind of want to bring this home today, I probably would have stuck with just getting one of those little nets that goes here because I have one of those, right? But touching the bug shirt and opening it up and sort of moving around in it gave me a much more positive impression of it than all of my online searching ever has. But here's a cool comment from Tenenbaum. It's a good product. I had worn one while tree planting, and I honestly think I wouldn't have survived the black flies without it. It's good to know. What did Simo post here? Let's see if I can. Oh no. Okay, I thought I had accidentally. There we go. That's the one. That's it. So yeah, they're not that expensive comparatively. I don't know what the rhino shirt costs. I'd like to take a look at that. It's actually a tight knit base layer type shirt, so quite different in construction. That actually sounds interesting as well. I'm going to take a sip of my whiskey. Hey, what's everyone drinking? Anyone having a brewski tonight or a whiskey or anything like that? Grace, I don't know why that comment got... Okay, another moderator handled it. Okay, I don't know why that comment got flagged. Oh, I think I might know. Hey, Russell's here. How's it going? Russell, we're talking about buying your outdoor gear online versus in person. I know that you bought at least one pair of bush gear online relatively recently. Yeah, Tenenbaum. I think it was the word black. I think so. I think. That almost went down the wrong pipe. That would have been bad because this is a cask strength whiskey. So what is it? 59.9%. If that goes down the wrong pipe, you're essentially dead. Not literally, but Yeah, that's why I was kind of hoping that you would show up, Russell, because I figured you would have that kind of take on it. Um, the reason that I've been buying everything online for the past 15 months is just because of like curfews and lockdowns and stuff. But for you, it's a long travel to go to a store. And do you have any favorite online retailers, Russell? Because that was going to be where I went next. Because I have some favorite online retailers, and but that's mostly a I think I buggered the URL there, the link. There we go. I think that's mostly a function of the fact that I know certain online retailers, and I haven't felt the need to go exploring too widely to find other ones. The online retailers that I frequent the most, okay, fairly often I'll just do an Amazon run, and Amazon.ca. Hey,
Good evening.
how's it going?
Pretty good. How are you?
All is well. All is well. I am fully vaccinated, and this time it didn't kick the crap out of me, which is nice because I remember mentioning how the first one really curb stomped me.
I would regard that as a good sign.
Yeah. I just want to finish the point I was making. So my online retailers, Deshwa, I will buy things at Amazon.ca. They don't really carry a lot of the more special stuff that I like though, and like their Gransfors Brooks prices are stupid. Um, but I like giving my money to the Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company. Like I actively like shopping there because I feel that I'm paying smaller companies um, full of human beings. Um, and there's one that I don't know if you guys know very well, but it's bushcraftcanada.com. I think it might be a division of a workwear company, but that guy's based in not Penticton.
He's out west somewhere.
Yeah, he's up above Penticton in Kelowna in the Okanagan. He's the guy, in fact, that when I won that Wetterling's axe and I was looking for a handle, I tried to buy one from him, and he just sent me an axe instead. Now, hold on a sec. I just realized that there's some chat going on in the Russell buys everything he can from Amazon, free shipping. It's a big one for me as well. Canadian Outdoor Equipment Company does free shipping if you spend over $50. It takes me no effort to spend more than $50, so I haven't paid them for shipping ever. Some people are telling me what they're. Hey, Hike with Mike is here. Sorry, man, I missed you. I just want to go back. Hike with Mike is here. Sid Burgess is here. Live on an island. Yeah, okay. Good point. Yeah, so you're not just sort of skipping over to Cabela's or anything. Ian is drinking Bell's. I have a bottle of Bell's. No, I don't anymore. Never mind.
Well, this is something that we talked about almost a year ago when we were talking about MEC and its problems, and that is that the amount of good outdoor equipment stores left in the world is dwindling rapidly. I mean, there just are a lot less of them than there used to be, and that's part of the overall trend in retail. And COVID certainly hasn't helped. It sort of has put the nail in the coffin for a lot of smaller businesses
and some big ones.
Quite true.
Yeah.
So if you have a store that you like, it's available to you, it's a wonderful thing. But that's getting less and less to be the case.
Yeah, very, very true. Absolutely.
I mean, even in a market like Toronto, which is a huge market, there are very few stores left that I would say are good outdoor retail stores. Whereas 20 years ago, I would say there were many. So
yeah, it's the same story here too. In Montreal. Here's as Amazon takes over more and more of our outdoor dollars, I find the problem is that they don't specialize in this stuff. So they don't always have the really cool brands or stuff that we're looking for, Like if I'm looking for a canoe paddle, am I going to find a Badger paddle on Amazon? Actually, would I find a Badger paddle on Amazon? I don't know. I might actually,
They might. It depends what. I mean,
but I
it
can't
depends
size
what
it there, right? I
you
can't.
know.
I
It
can't.
depends what retail channels they decide to use, and I think part of this really speaks to how manufacturers have to, approach this problem,
Mhm.
recognizing this, how they get their product to market. Something like a paddle, people tend to want to buy them in person, which makes that very tricky. It's
Yeah.
not a great thing to ship. It's possible, of course, but it's less than ideal. So that's an example of a product that in this new environment it's really difficult.
What was the name of that paddle shop we went to in Ottawa?
We went to Trailhead, which
I went.
used to operate stores in many cities, and now is pretty much all that's left of that larger organism. That's the Trailhead Paddle Shop.
Paddle Shack, or Paddle Shop?
Shack, I think they're calling it. Yeah.
Okay. I was just bringing it up in a browser to take a look at later because I'm wondering if they do online shopping as well. They probably do.
Mm.
But like you kind of have to be online in order to survive these days, I find. And it's funny because Russell brought up an interesting point. He said when companies start using drone shipping, it'll be over for storefronts, and that might be very true. He follows it up with possibly. I can agree with that. I want pizza by drone as well. Absolutely. Mark says he prefers to support local shops when he could, and I do as well. Absolutely. I really do. When possible, and when the difference in price isn't ginormous, Grace said something. The only store around here for gear is Bass Pro. Bass Pro? Bass Pro? Bass, right? The
Bass,
fish.
like the fish.
Not bass, like the blah, blah, boom, no. Most of their prices are a bit too high to crazy high. So, yeah. And Russell asked if anyone has bought from Cabela's.ca or Bass Pro. I bought from Cabela's before.
I have as well.
The shipping can be a little crazy though. I was gonna buy a reasonably placed. Okay, shut up, Jesse. I was gonna buy a reasonably priced rifle from them at one point, but once you added on the shipping, it's like it wasn't a deal anymore. Mm. And I find that it's that way with a lot of their stuff. I'm just looking down the side chat.
This will probably be no surprise to you, but having been a consumer of outdoor gear in 3 countries now, Canada, the United States, and Sweden, I can tell you that in the United States, it's a nice place to shop, whether online or in person. Lots of variety, good shipping generally, and generally less expensive. Sweden is unbelievably expensive. I can shop in person at one chain, but you pay through the nose. I mean, and the way the EU is set up, I can identify the thing I want to buy and then buy it from another country and like pay
Germany
80% or 75% of that, or Spain even, and or Poland, and everything is just much cheaper, even though it's the same thing.
Yeah,
as long as you're willing to wait for it for a week, you can pay 70% of the price. So it's
and I'm always willing to wait a week. I'm always willing to wait a week. Especially if you're talking about 70% of the price.
Yeah,
I would wait 2 weeks. Because if it's something expensive,
and sometimes it's ludicrous. Like I have these. I talked about those metal SIG bottles a couple weeks ago. There's another company from Spain called Laker or Lacan, I believe. Anyway, I bought a couple of their bottles that are very similar, and I could get 2 of them shipped from Spain for less than the price of buying one of them in Sweden.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it's crazy. Interesting that you said that thing about how shopping in the United States is nice. I remember being in a shoe store in Manhattan, and my sister-in-law bought a pair of Canadian boots for less than you can buy them in Canada.
Yeah.
crossing the border, blah blah, all that, and it's because there is no city in Canada where they can meet the same what do you call it, economies of scale that
Yeah.
New York can hit. There's none. So, and that's just the way it is. But I mean, I'm not going to be crossing a border to buy an axe or a knife, right? But
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of things that have been done by Canada Post and others to try to make it easier to shop the American market from Canada. You still never really get around paying the duty. You can just sort of get it more conveniently done, as opposed to it disappearing into Canada customs hands and then 4 to 6 weeks later it reemerging. But you never really get away from it. That part of it's a little bit expensive. On the other hand, I buy a lot of stuff from the States now and ship it here because even then it's cheaper than it is to buy it in Sweden. So it's still attractive. Yeah, I know. It's kind of crazy.
Yikes.
But I should say, in answer to the question of the topic of the day, I actually do a lot of my shopping on eBay, and I buy things that are used.
Mm-hmm.
I don't actually end up spending any less overall, but I end up with twice as much stuff generally.
Right.
But that's my own personal problem in terms of addiction to stuff. Although I'm getting better about it.
Yeah.
My total consumption of tents and knives has dropped radically in the last year or two.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
It's funny you bring up tents because, you know how I've said to you guys before that Camille wants a camping kit for her birthday and stuff, and so I said, "Listen, what's the kind of stuff you wanted?" Because I remember that this was the conversation topic of one of my live streams, and I wrote everything down that you guys mentioned, and then I live with a 2-year-old, so the paper is gone. It got marked all up. But one thing she said she wanted was a tent. I'm like, okay. Wow, that's more expensive than I thought this was going to be.
I was gonna say I might have to hook you up with another tent then.
She wants a small tent. I'm like, oh man, is that crumbs? But I like the reason I went to Mountain Equipment Co-op was to get her a boussole. When I was there, I couldn't remember the French word, and now I can't remember the English word. A boussole.
I got nothing.
North, south, east, and west. A compass.
Compass. There you go.
I had identified the one I wanted, and I went there because it's like $28, and everything else they have there is like 50 to 70. And they were out of that specific one.
Mm.
But I had to buy myself a few things as well, so it wasn't a complete waste. But
I was going to say that's the other story of the day, which is because of supply chain problems and shipping problems, everyone is out of everything.
They were out of everything, and the things they had like two of. Right, choice was down, supply was down, stock was down. It's crazy. It's not the same story as it was 10 years ago, man.
Well, I mean, they're under new ownership. I mean,
yeah.
So I don't really know what's going to happen to them. The fact that it hasn't completely changed already is perhaps nice, but I think it's probably a slow decline. I think that's
I think that's very clearly what's going on there. Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, I probably won't be spending as much money there as I used to, but there isn't really anyone else in Canada who hits that niche in that way.
Yeah, I mean, it was a bigger market and it's becoming a smaller market. There were the trailhead stores.
Mm-hmm.
There was a group called Europe Bound that's now not as big as it used to be. Atmosphere, Sail.
I think is Sail gone now?
I think they're on the verge.
Hey, Austin's here. How's it going, Austin?
And after that, I think it's independence. I mean, I don't know that there's anyone else you'd call sort of a big player.
There's no because MEC was REI for Canada,
right?
And once,
by the way, REI is quite impressive. By the way, I mean,
yeah,
they have many stores.
Dude, if they crossed the border and entered the Canadian market, I would be fine with that. especially with what MEC has become.
Yeah.
I would spend my money at REI in a
It
Montreal
would be
minute.
nice to see a new cooperative. Yeah.
It would, yeah, exactly. Russell says he had a pup tent for years when he was a kid. It was his tent. Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, the change in retail and all this stuff that's going on, it makes you wonder about anyone who's producing goods for less popular things. I think it means that those things are bound to be more expensive because they're going to be made in smaller amounts. They're going to be harder to find. If Amazon doesn't have it, then it becomes a challenge, I suppose.
But they don't have it for a lot of the stuff that we want. As I see people who go into the outdoors in several different camps, right? There are the people who just buy whatever the big brand is, and I'm hiking. Do you know what I'm saying? Let's go camping. Let's try camping. Let's go. Let's do some camping. And so then they buy all this sort of whatever. And then there are people who dive deep into this stuff. And those people, they're the ones who are not buying the Canadian Tire Axe or whatever, right? They're the ones who are spending the money on the council tool or the Groundsfirst, right? Because they're not just, let's go camping. They're like, no, they camp kind of thing. And they're the ones who will buy the specialist made knives rather than just buying a buck knife. They're the ones who will, and maybe there aren't enough of those people to carry a big store, a big chain.
So let me give you an example of what I think is the new model. There is a Canadian manufacturer, primarily of tarps, but also of waterproof bags, which is AquaQuest.
I have one of their tarps.
They're out of BC. Now, what they've done is they've partnered with Amazon for distribution. So you can get an AquaQuest tarp pretty much anywhere in the world.
That's a great idea.
You can get it within 2 or 3 days. I was amazed. I ordered from them. They distributed to me from Germany, and 3 days later, I had a Canadian tarp in Sweden.
Wow, that's amazing.
And the pricing wasn't terrible either. So, for better or worse, I think many of the manufacturers are going to have to buy into what's the new reality, which is, Amazon is a major channel. eBay is a lesser channel, but it does some of the same things. Etsy, if you're sort of, in the very niche things, one of these other channels.
Yeah.
And these are the ways that I think manufacturers are going to have to get to people rather than through bricks and mortar. I mean,
yeah.
The other quite big question that's going on, and it relates a little bit to how things are going to turn out with our current predicament, is what's going to happen to commercial real estate and real estate in general, because we've been in sort of suspended animation for a year and a half now, and that can't last indefinitely. Eventually the market will dictate that all that retail space can't just sit empty. Something has to happen.
Right. Here's something that Russell just said. He said, I was surprised to learn how big Etsy is in terms of revenue flowing through. I don't know anything about Etsy. I tried to have an Etsy store for my hand-carved spoons at one point, but I just gave up because it was too much work for what I could charge for my spoons, essentially. But, hey, Dennis is here. How's it going, mister?
He just had a great show with Cliff Jacobson talking about the use of map and compass.
Oh, nice.
Yep.
Well, I'll be checking that out tomorrow. But yeah, I mean, so it's weird to see and some people are saying some interesting stuff in the side chat here. Austin says, my biggest gripe about in-store shopping is storing overhead has made profit margins thinner, which leads the goods in the stores to be cheaper and cheaper. So if your desire is quality, you are forced to buy online. And I do a lot of buying online for that reason as well, but I don't necessarily go to Amazon. Like I bought a ferro rod from a maker through his Instagram page. Well, that's buying online. But I don't want to buy rain pants online. I don't want to buy the original bug shirt online. Right, so there are certain things.
There are certain kinds of problems, right? Things you need to try on.
Yeah.
Or things where if you spoke to someone who had some expertise, it might be helpful for you to make a decision.
Mm-hmm.
For the former thing, there's some indications that technology will help eventually with respect to sizing and all that. Although,
Right.
I look forward to the day that I can actually buy shoes that fit me that way, and it's never really worked for me so far.
I'm not doing it. No way. Because especially because the way sizes work doesn't really work anymore. I think was it Russell said something like that earlier about how if you bought his shoes online it would be a disaster because he has several different sizes. I do as well, so I'm not doing it.
And as to expertise, I mean that's one of the things that, for example, Mountain Equipment Co-op has always traditionally prided itself on, which is you could talk to somebody who, they're paid by the hour, they don't get commission, they're not biased in any particular way, who's going to give you theoretically good advice on which of their products might suit you or not.
Yep. I've had good experiences buying stuff there, or like asking questions and then making an informed decision. Now at the one in Montreal, you'd better know how to speak French because they are no longer bilingual. So for me, it's not that big a problem, but I know that for some people it is. I'm too old to care about that crap. You know what I'm saying? If the person only speaks French, I'm fine. Who cares? But I did forget how to say compass in French when I was there. I was like, l'affaire avec le nord, le sud, le ouest, là, et ça tourne. Ah, une boussole, quoi. Okay, that's where we're going.
We have some similar problems. I keep telling you that as my Swedish gets better, my English gets worse. So I'm slowly becoming illiterate in both languages.
That's funny. So I thought there would be more people trying to come on to tell us about their their shopping online versus in person stories or ideas, but not many. I'm putting the link up again. And like I look at the future, kind of what you were saying, like how does what's been happening over the past 15 months affect buying outdoor gear into the future?
And earlier one, I think it was Austin was talking about margins. I mean, it creates a difficult situation. I'll give you another interesting example, which is Ostrom Outdoors was making probably amongst the best canoe portage packs in the world for decades. And this is the thing. They got driven out of business, and now they're back. And I think the reason they're back is because they're piggybacking at least some of their production on a Chinese source. At least the stuff that's going to be going through the barrel shop, which is using Ostrom Outdoors' designs, but getting them produced more cheaply. And then they're going to also produce their own designs as well in Canada at a higher cost.
Because that was my question when I found out that they were coming back was, I wonder what I would love to look at an old one next to a new one. But if you're saying that they're sourcing at least part of it in China, then...
Well, I think the ones that are going to come out under their label will be domestically made, and I would expect the quality to be quite high. As to the ones that Andy is going to be selling, I don't know. I mean, the difficult thing about outsourcing is that there's tremendous variation. You get factories that are excellent and factories that are crap, and then it's hard to know which is going to be which. And the other thing that's just a frustration for me as a consumer, and I wonder if other people have experienced this, is you'll buy a certain product and it'll be good, and then you try to buy the same product a year or two later,
and it's not the same.
It's called the same thing and it costs the same thing, but it's not the same thing. The fabric has changed, or the quality has changed, or the people putting it together are not trying as hard, or they've moved it to a factory that gave them a better price, but there's a reason it's cheaper.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing about shopping, online, which is unless you're shopping in a channel that makes returns easy and free, you take that risk every time that you're going to get something you don't like. And
because you can't hold it. Yes, absolutely.
Some hassle of sending it back.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah, and you can't hold it. You can't see if it's comfortable in your hand. Can you imagine buying Well, let's go back to it. Can you imagine buying a canoe or online, a canoe paddle online
Yeah,
without being?
I actually have,
Have
but
you?
usually, but they're not made of. Typically, the ones I have are made of wood, so I'm pretty
Oh,
safe.
okay.
You know, I'm buying, you know, composite metal, and they're manufactured, so they typically are pretty consistent. But
But for a guy like me, I don't even really know how to size myself for like I know there's this, but I saw a video that Kevin Callan made that he said that's okay, but this is what you should really do. And he sat in the he had a whole different way of doing it, and I'm like,
it's one of those things you would get used to for sure in terms of knowing what size you want for a given situation. But you're right. I mean, if it's one of your first paddles, that's very hard.
yeah, exactly. Um, Russell asked if he can I buy a set of oars online. You can buy anything
I
online.
bet you could. I think shipping something that long would be a real pain.
Yeah,
It would cost you a pretty penny. Even shipping a canoe paddle is not great.
yeah. Excuse me.
And shipping one internationally is super not great because there are like limits to length in the post. So you end up with one of the courier companies, and then they charge you a lot.
Oh, yeah, they really do. What the hell was the name of that paddle company? The something and something that was in Ontario. Um, they
Oh,
made a
the fancy ones,
yeah,
yeah.
they made a paddle for Karina from Alexis Outdoors. What the hell were they called? And like they kind of imploded during the COVID thing, and I was like, I've always wanted to know what happened there because I wanted one of those paddles.
Uh,
They seem to be making the nicest paddles around, but
Dennis reminds us it's Hunter and Harris.
yes, and so does Mike Morton. Yes, Hunter and Harris. I would love to know what happened there because they didn't say anything. They just said, we regret, but we're closing down. I'm like, whoa,
Probably ran out of money. I mean, that's
hold on. These guys are saying that they're back.
oh well.
We're gonna need a URL here.
Maybe they have money again.
Maybe so. Well, that's good. That's good. I'll look them up afterwards because I remember seeing like a couple of those paddles and thinking, that's pretty nice. Like, I wonder if when something like that is, because the difference in price, if I remember correctly, was pretty big between those and like a Badger paddle, right?
When you're buying from them, I don't know. You're paying for something that is other than. It's hard to describe what you're paying for. I guess cachet is maybe the word.
Well, that's why, like, I'm not gonna grab my Sadowski base and wave it around on screen again because I've done that with you guys enough.
But I don't think that's quite. I don't think it's quite the same thing. I mean, that Sadowski bass is an excellent instrument.
Yes,
but it's not. Oh, it's not a fancy. I mean, it's fancy, but it doesn't really map to the way Hunter and Harris maps to a Badger. It's sort of a luxury good, I guess, is the way I'd put it. And its aesthetic qualities are important beyond just its performance qualities. I mean, they're beautiful. I mean, in a way, they're so beautiful that you wonder if you want to, take them out to where they'll get dropped and banged up and scratched on a rock. And
I don't have that problem. I take them out. You know what? If I bring my my Sadowski bass to a gig in a pub, I'll take a Hunter and Harris paddle into the woods because I had a bass knocked off its stand once, and it landed face first on the stage, and the fretboards delaminated from the neck.
Wow.
So like when you play in a Celtic band in pubs, and you play the St. Patrick's Week Slaughter. Well, actually, the Sadowski, I'll admit, doesn't come out for St. Patrick's Week. That's the Fender that comes out. But I have nothing that is not there to be used. Like I don't have a bass that just hangs on the wall. I don't have an axe that just hangs on the wall. I don't have a knife that's a drawer queen or a safe queen or whatever the heck the word is for those.
Safe queen is the word.
Yeah, is that it? I like having stuff that gives me the fizz. And I like it when my stuff starts to show use. I like scuff marks on the blade of my knives. You know, not from, you know, like so with some Kydex sheaths, it sort of scratches every time. No, I don't like that. But I like the marks that come with sharpening and using and scrubbing off the sap, and maybe there's a little bit of patina starting or whatever. You know. I'm just checking the side chat here because I don't want to be ignoring anyone. Oh, interesting. What Mike Morton says. The Hunter and Hatch are beautiful. My go-to is a red tail that's about $40 with a resin tip. Can beat the snot out of it. Fair enough. Yeah. Yeah. Ah, good old water, nectar of the gods. I've realized that if I'm going to have whiskey on a Tuesday night, I have to have a lot more water.
That's very wise.
I'm going to be sad when this bottle's gone. This is one of those ones I can't rebuy. So good. I bought that bottle online. Because I buy so many of my bottles in Alberta and have them shipped to my fiddler's place. Like just today, I took delivery of a large box of, I think, 8 bottles. That sounds like I did like this huge shopping spree. I didn't. I buy a bottle every month or two, and then when there's enough to fill a box, he ships them to me. So like I'll buy a bottle of like an exciting scotch and not see it for 6 months kind of thing, you know?
Well, they say delayed gratification is
it does make it
a sign of the ability to succeed.
Yeah. But you know, like I bought those online. The thing is, it's expensive to have that stuff shipped from Alberta or BC. You spend $70 on a bottle and another 20, 25, 30 just for the Canada Post. Hey, Dennis.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Hi.
All is well. All is well. So where do you do most of your shopping? Are you in person or are you an online guy?
Sorry, Dorito. You know what? I prefer to shop in store. I really like stores like, you know, MEC and Sale. And then, of course, our local outfitter shop, right? We got a place here called Outdoors Oriented, which they have everything. And I really enjoy the personal touch. But if it's small trinkety stuff, that's the kind of stuff I would be more prone to purchase through, like, you know, an Amazon or something like that, right?
Yeah.
I prefer the knowledge of these guys and gals that work in these places that touch and feel the stuff every day. And I know it's a sales pitch a lot of times that they give, but if you need to know the ins and outs of a product,
yeah,
you know, and then you also have that peace of mind that, like, you know, you get to feel it in your hands. I don't know how many times, and I'm sure everybody could attest to this. It looks great on Amazon. Those pictures do it some real justice, and then you get the thing, and it's like, this thing's a piece of crap.
Yeah, it's like, well, that's not as nice.
Yeah,
That's one of the things that Amazon, if they're going to continue to be successful, they're going to have to watch out for, because there's a lot more of these Chinese outfits where the picture is one thing and then you receive another. And if they don't find a way to control that, well, that may be a good thing, because that's going to keep some of those bricks and mortar stores open.
Yeah,
because at least you know what you're getting if you can hold it in your hand.
Yeah,
like the beauty part of Amazon is, like, you know, you can return it, no questions asked, right? And free shipping back and forth and stuff like that. But you know what? I prefer to, like I say, I like the touchy-feely part. Jess, you've been approached by these Chinese businesses that say, do a review, you get the product for free. And I got tied up into that for a little bit, right? And then I started realizing, like, you know, this one company sent me a tent. The tent was a piece of crap, and they wanted me to do a video review on it. And I said, do you really want me to do a video review on it?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's why we sent it to you. I go, do you really want me to do it? Because I'm used to high-end equipment,
Yeah.
my Eureka tents, or in my case, hammocks and stuff like that. But when it come down to their tent, the tent they sent me, I'm giving it to my grandson to play with in the backyard, if that's any indication.
Yeah.
Right? It's like, go ahead, kick the snot out of it. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
So I've gotten out of doing that. I won't do reviews for products or anything that I'm not comfortable doing it. Like, that's a reputable business type of thing. So
I just want to point out what Chris Garland says. There's nothing like a tactile experience and personal rapport before making a decision.
Precisely.
Yeah. And now, the other side of that, I just want to say, is that if I go into a store, I'm buying shoes or something, and I don't like my shopping experience, I'll find the size I want, and then I will buy them on Amazon.
I was going to say, the moral of the story is there. If you want to have a store to check out, you have to throw them some of your business.
Yeah.
You've got to keep going to those places if you want them to survive. And in a way, with that, I mean, I've done that too. You check it out in person, then you find a cheaper price. But that's the death of bricks and mortar retail. If you take that to its logical conclusion.
Yeah, and which is why I won't do that if I walk in and I'm treated right. If I'm having a good experience at the store, I'll spend my money at the store. If I walk in and I'm not getting a good shopping experience, they clearly don't care, or they're being rude, or I feel that, like I'm trying to make this not sound like I'm being a Karen. I mean, I'm very, very patient with the people who are selling me stuff, because I've done those jobs. But like, I've also walked into stores relatively recently where it takes me 10 minutes to be noticed, even though I'm the only one in the store, and there are 4 of them hanging around and chit-chatting around the cash. In that kind of situation, I'll try it out and then buy it at Amazon, because I don't want to have to fight for their attention when I'm the only customer. I'm not rewarding them with my money, But for shoes, I have to try them on before I buy them. But like, I will, in most cases, gladly spend a little extra at a bricks and mortar store to even just to keep that option open for the future.
Mm-hmm. Sometimes you have to really weigh in and evaluate on that. Like, I'm in the print business myself, right? Mm-hmm. And nothing kills me more than all these people that come in and go, "Oh yeah, I got all this stuff from what's that? The big print. It's like an Amazon of print. I can't even remember the name of it.
The hell are they called?
Vistaprint.
Yeah,
Vistaprint. That's the one. Thank you. This 56-year-old mind's starting to go on me here, but it's really cool when they come in and they go, yeah, I got this business card from Vistaprint, right? And it cost me $3.99 for 20,000 cards or something, right?
Yeah.
And then another guy walks in the next day and he's got the exact same card, just different information.
Yeah.
And it's printed on the cheapest quality paper, or it's you get what you pay for sometimes. But you know what? Vistaprint's not going to sponsor your kid's baseball team, or they're not going to support your community, right?
Yeah, that's very true. And at the end of the day, if I wanted a business card, then I would call you, because I would want a business card that the next guy over doesn't have.
Yeah.
And I know that I'm going to spend more money going to you than I will going to Vistaprint. But that's just one of those cases in which I'm okay spending the extra money. It's the same for that stupid base that I keep showing you guys. Was it worth $5,000? Probably not. Was it worth almost 5 times the price of my Fender? No, of course not, because they essentially do the same thing. A lot of the worth isn't the intangibles. Mm-hmm. One of them is I walked into a shop that was 8 people large, and spoke to the owner and spoke to the people who were going to build the thing, and chose the wood, like the specific pieces of wood. Whereas with the Fender, it was whatever, $1,250 $1,250, but that's essentially a factory instrument, right? Big factory, lots of people just punching out bass after bass after bass. It's still a good quality instrument, but some of the intangibles count to me. I like knowing that a human that I spoke to turned around and built my bass. You know,
Yeah.
it's one of the reasons I like. You guys know Malcolm at Hidden Woodsman.
Mhm.
I mean, I don't know Malcolm, but I bought his Dayrock Scout. Um, Not my favorite bag by any stretch because it's the affordable one. Like the Dayrock, not the Scout, but the real Dayrock, I would have preferred to have because padded shoulder straps and everything, but I just couldn't afford it. But I love having bought something from that small an outfit. That, by the way, was an online purchase, obviously, right?
He's kept his business relatively small.
Yeah.
I think for him, scaling up and maintaining the kind of quality he has would be quite challenging.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not an easy thing to do in this day and age.
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
But that's not to say that he has to or wants to. It's just one of those things where there's limited availability because it reflects the fact that he's hands-on and he's making an excellent product by hand.
Yeah. Yeah, I do want to say that I cannot fault that bag for the quality. It's a very good quality bag. It's especially because for an affordable bag, it's a really nicely made piece of kit.
And that's what it takes is somebody like us to build a product that knows what needs to go into it, right?
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's the beauty part of that. That's a couple of the companies that I associate myself with. Like I always talk about these guys, Kid Products, right? They make the twig stoves and stuff. Canadian-made product for guys that are just like me, right? And it's not a huge business, but they put out a very high-quality product, and their prices are reasonable. You know what I mean? They're not getting rich. They're putting it out because it's a passion for them. And I'm sure it's the same thing with a guy like Malcolm, right?
Yeah. I want to try one of those kid stoves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? I've got an extra one. I will send one out to you there and give it a try. Mess around with it.
Shoot a video on it.
I've got like 3 now, and the reflector oven. So.
Wow. Hey, yeah, I saw that you got a reflector oven. How was it?
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
I leave tomorrow night, Thursday night. I'm heading up to Temagami for 4 nights.
Nice.
With, ironically, the president of Kid Products, and we're bringing the reflector oven out. And right now, we got planned. Going to be doing pizzas one night.
Nice.
We got our cinnamon buns already bought. The Pillsbury cinnamon buns.
Yeah.
And the apple turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
And then I've been working on a little recipe using pancake mix and hot chocolate to make little chocolate muffiny type of things.
Okay.
So, yeah.
By the way, Dennis, there's a comment in the side chat that I think was related to what you were talking about. Russell says, I make pretty sure the product I'm giving is going to be a good one. Because I think he's riffing off what you were saying, that you were ending up having to shoot videos on these, like, you'll note that I haven't really done one of those in a while either.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, I think we both
all together doing them. They approach me all the time.
Yeah.
And I just say, no, I'm not doing it. Not interested.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Grace says, at my local hardware store, before I'm in 3 feet in the door, I'm going to start that again because I totally blew the reading of that. Okay, take 2. At my local hardware store, before I'm 3 feet in the door, an employee will greet me and ask if they can help me. I don't get that at Home Depot. Fair point. The local Home Depot, it can be hard to find someone to help you. Once you do, they know what they're talking about, but it can be hard to find someone to help you. It's like there's no one in the store. Or, I mean, there are people behind the cash, and those people don't know anything. But, like, I'll circle for 10 minutes looking for someone, like, I just want to blah. Hey, Bubbles.
Hi, guys. Julian, Ricky took my kitty last night. I don't know what to do. He was really hungry. And Julian. How you guys doing?
Living the dream.
Living the dream?
Nice.
That's my sarcastic Gen X way of saying I'm, still fighting with this hellacious existence, but I'm still alive.
Nice. Sorry, don't let me interrupt. You were talking about something important.
Oh yeah, it was highly important. I think we were talking about gear. A bunch of YouTube bushcrafters. Of course, we're talking about gear.
I love gear, and something you guys were saying earlier about actually going and feeling stuff is. I like going and feeling stuff if I'm not really gonna buy it. You ever walk through like a Cabela's or a Bass Pro, and you're just kind of feeling all the things, and you're going, "Oh,
Yeah.
this is nice. This is nice. This is nice."
It's like buying lingerie and buying it offline. I'd rather go in and feel it and touch it. For the wife.
I was going to say. And the awkwardness kicks in.
I like how you qualified that at the end.
Yeah.
For my wife.
Yeah, it's like I like to. The thing is, I want something sometimes for like 2 years before I buy it. Do you know what I'm saying? Like I will look at it and I will, Russell. I know we don't talk about guns on my live stream, but we've talked about those Henrys before in the green room, and I want a lever action Henry, 30-30. And I look at them, and it's just never the right time because it's a big output, and I've got kids, and I've got a mortgage, and blah, blah, blah. But one day I'm going to buy one, Oh, and I don't even hunt anymore because I don't have access to land anymore. So if I'm going to be spending that kind of money, it's going to go towards a canoe,
I just took my credit card out. Where?
Bacon stout. Wow. Okay.
Oh, is that the Trailer Park Boys?
No, it's from a local brew house. It's actually pretty good. I've had a couple of them already.
Can you show it again?
Is it bacony?
It's got just the slightest hint of a bacony flavor. But, yeah, there we go. Bacon stout. Okay. Yeah, okay. I can see where you're thinking Trailer Park Boys, but it's more. You know what? They call it a bacon stout, but see the coffee beans on there. It's got more of a coffee, like a coffee porter type of flavor.
Sure. That sounds more normal.
Yeah.
Okay. I had to try it. Right. Every time I go to like a local brewery or whatever you want to call it there, I'll always pick up something different. Right, one or two cans. One can, I can taste it. If I don't like it, then I'll feed the other can to a buddy or something, right? But if I like it, then I got two cans. So,
right, guys, there's a question in the side chat here that's interesting. Chris is asking, and I would like to say Chris actually did what I keep asking. He wrote question in capitals before the question so that it would pop into my little eye. Does anyone wait to buy direct when at the various outdoor shows? You save a few bucks from in-store and online, usually a flat amount with cash, and more profit for the seller, win-win. When I was going to some outdoor shows and hunting shows and stuff, I would always buy at least something, like sometimes a call or something like that. I like it for a couple of reasons. When I'm at the show, I'm excited about all the stuff I'm seeing. And so I'm really primed to spend money. So I don't spend. I'm very careful, but I'm gonna buy something. How often, when you're at a show, Dennis, you've been to a bunch of shows. How often is it that you're standing there and you're talking to the person who designed the damn thing, and you're asking questions, and he is pleased as punch to be talking to someone? Yeah, I want to give him my money. And yeah, I want to give him my money without the middleman who adds all the percentage on and takes the profit. So yeah, I like to buy at those shows. Small amounts.
You know what, Jess? And on a story, and I'd like to say back to the kid products thing. There's another twig stove on the market. Everybody's heard of it. It's called the Firebox stove.
Yeah.
And they have the Firebox Nano.
I have a Nano.
Yeah, I originally was looking for the Firebox stove, right? Went to a show in Toronto. It was the Sportsman show, actually. And looking around, and I come across this one outfitters retail display booth, right? And they happened to have this kid stove, and didn't really know much about it. Looked at it, checked it out, but it wasn't the firebox. So I started looking around more, hoping that maybe somebody would have had one so I could compare them.
Mm-hmm.
And I come across the kid products display booth. So I start talking with these guys. Like I say, they're four dudes, or they're partners, right? And they were there, and I got into a conversation with the president there, and we're just basically, chewing the fat, as they say. And we just kept talking and talking, and before you knew it, I walked away from there with one of his products. So made in Canada, small business type of thing.
Yeah.
Supporting local, I guess you could say. And I use that thing, and I'll tell you, I was so impressed that the next year I went back and I run into these guys again because I wanted to thank them for it because I really liked the product, right? And before you knew it, this guy and I, and all these guys, now I'm canoe tripping with them. Right?
Yeah, that's a cool story. I like that.
It's one of those things where, yeah, you know what, I like the product and everything, but the guys are cool dudes.
Yeah.
And getting their whole story on what they make, being a small business, is they do it because they wanted something for themselves and they're sharing it with everybody else. And I'm sure that was the case with, like you mentioned, Malcolm, right? I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
A couple packs were probably packs for himself.
Yeah,
and then a
I
couple
think so.
buddies. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I love going to them shows and purchasing directly off of them.
Right? Yeah, and I appreciate that as well. There's a human element that you get every time you look at an item after you've spoken to the person who created it.
Yep.
You associate it with a human being rather than just a machine. And I like that. I like that a lot. At the shows here in Quebec, we don't really get a lot of that kind of, we don't get, the kid guys are not going to show up in Montreal. So we don't get that kind of thing happen here an awful lot. But I want to go to one of those big Toronto shows one year.
Do they not have that type of show in Montreal?
They have big shows, but like you almost never get the guy who created the kids stuff kind of thing, and guys like that. There's a lot of whatever a pourvoirie is in English. A lot of Simon pourvoirie.
Corporate.
Are they outfitters? Stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. You get you get some corporate stuff, but it's very rarely. I'm just trying to think. Yeah, it's very rarely that kind of like that Toronto
Small
show
manufacturers.
that you almost never get. I mean, there are some Quebec small manufacturers, but it's very often this person carves wood.
Cliff says representatives.
Outfitters. I think it's outfitters. Is that the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, Simone says it's outfitter. Yeah. Oh yeah, Mark says, "Hey, Fox at Outdoors is here. Hey, how's it going, Cliff?"
Hey, Cliff.
But yeah. So yeah, that's a very long answer to the question that was asked. But yes, I do like to buy stuff at those shows. One or two things. I don't go in there with like a grand to lay down. And
That's my problem, Jess. When I go to them shows, I don't have a grand to lay down, but I always do.
Yeah.
I have to come home and be really nice to the wife.
I can see the issue. Yes.
Yeah.
But like, if I went to a show and these Hunter and Harrison guys were there, Hunter and Harrison?
Hunter and Harris, yeah.
Hunter and Harris. If they were there, I would go and I would get size for a paddle, and I guarantee you I would leave with one, because they've currently got three models I'm seeing, right? The Norseman, the Ottertail, and the Thompson, and I see the differences. I know what an Ottertail is good for, but the Thompson and the Norseman are pretty close. So I would want to talk to them about all three, and I know I would leave with one. Absolutely no.
Another really good Ontario paddle maker too is Badger Paddles.
Well, that's the one that I know the most.
Yeah,
You know.
They make some nice ones, but you know what? That is an item I would never, ever, ever buy online. You gotta feel. Just you know what? Because they could have 2 or 3 paddles, same model, same size, but just looking at the wood grain and grabbing one that's you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You're gonna look at it and go, you like that little knot
Yeah.
pattern or the wood grain lines and stuff like
As,
that.
as some of the people in the chat said earlier, though, in a way, that's geographically dependent, which is to say that, fortunately for you, you have the opportunity to go see them.
Yeah.
You know, there's some fraction of all the people who are interested who just simply cannot get to the place where they can do that.
Yeah.
You know, it's sorry, just to add on to that. I wonder how many people buy stuff like paddles or shoes or whatever, and they get the product and go, "Oh, it's not quite what I had in mind," so I just hang it on the wall next to the others and buy the next one. I wonder how many people do that.
Yeah. That is an interesting question.
There's always a fraction of people who have more money than sense. That's
Yeah.
I'm one of those some of the time for sure.
I would love to be one of those. Are you kidding me? If I had money, if buying every outdoor item wasn't like a source of stress and
I don't
But
know.
just-
I'd rather have more sense than money.
yeah,
Just it starts to take up room, though.
good point. Very
And
good
you have a
point.
bunch of stuff that you paid money for that you have no use for. I mean,
Yeah, that's a good point. By the way, Dennis, I just wanted to point you to this question that Simone put and I put on the. If you have a URL for the kids stuff, that's not. It was it KY no KH.
I just posted it there.
You did it. Okay.
KIHD.
KIH. Right. I'm trying to catch. Oh yes, I see it now. I'm just trying to catch up to the side chat here. Zach, hey Zach, I haven't seen you in a while. He says if I'm buying a case knife or a Rough Rider, I prefer to buy in person. Case and Rough Rider have similar hit or miss quality, so I prefer to inspect in person. That is an excellent point because not everyone's quality assurance is up to snuff, and like I bought a Grants for his axe, my small forest axe. When it arrived, the handle is half sapwood and half heartwood. And if it was longer than a small forest axe, I probably would have sent it back. But I feel that at that length, it's kind of a who cares situation because it's not long enough to have that big an issue, in my opinion.
if there were a stack, you would never have picked that one out.
If there were a stack, I never would have picked that one out. Exactly. So I like this point that Zach made. I think it's a good point. Actually, you guys in the side chat are on fire tonight. We've had a couple of really good points swinging out of the side chat.
What are we baking here on screen? Come on.
No. Hey, first of all,
We're drinking bacon beer.
I was going to say bacon is every Bushman's.
I know that was a bad. What are we? Potatoes on screen?
Okay, I'm not drinking potato beer.
Yeah. No, potato beer is
beer.
vodka.
Vodka.
There you go.
Oat soda?
Yuck.
Nice.
Pouring myself a little bit more of my scotch. I really don't want to hurry up on this bottle though, so that's the last one I'm pouring tonight.
Wait, can I? Now that there's a short break, can I show you my guitar?
Yeah, sure. Did you buy it online?
I did not. I went to what's the huge place in Richmond Hill?
Is there a guitar center down there or
Is it Long and
something?
McQuaid?
Long and McQuaid?
Long and McQuaid was what it was. It's a huge center for everything. They've got huge place.
Is that it? That's an Epiphany, I guess.
It's like it's a guitar.
Let's see the headstock, please.
Yeah, I bet you it's an
I was
Epiphany.
gonna say, not Epiphonic. It says Epiphone.
Yeah. Yeah. I had always thought that was Epiphany. I had thought that it was some weird spelling of Epiphany. My old guitarist in a band I used to be in called it an Epiphone. But if you call them and you miss them, the message on their answering machine calls them Epiphany.
Oh,
That's
interesting.
fascinating. Bizarre.
I didn't know that. I
Yeah.
bought this a lot because I really like the look.
Yeah, that's a nice stain. That's a Les Paul copy. Nice.
I spent months trying to learn how to play this, and it just I think I'm too old.
Oh, you're never too old. All it takes is agonizing effort.
I was like months, like doing all the exercises and the fingerings, and I just couldn't get any faster. And
No, speed takes a long ass time.
no, I'm
Speed
just
takes a
I
long
can't
time.
play songs because I can't change chords fast enough.
Hmm.
So it's not. I mean, speed.
Practice makes perfect.
Yeah. Well, after months of doing it, I will say I'm too old.
With
Okay.
practice, you need patience, right?
Right. Yeah, good point.
I've tried guitar myself, and I haven't had the patience for it.
I'm not very good at guitar. I think it's even speaking as a bass player, I find that the acoustic guitar is the perfect instrument. Absolutely perfect instrument.
Do you watch Davey 504?
Yeah.
He's
Yeah,
fun.
I sure do. Yeah.
He's fun to watch.
Yeah. Slap.
Slap
slap.
that like button, by the way.
Slap. Oh yeah, speaking of which, hey, folks.
Mark Koopmans has good advice there. He says, play slower songs.
Guys, there are 14 people watching and I only have 8 likes. Slap that like button.
Yeah, Dennis, you need to do that more in your show. There are like 90 people watching and only 30 thumbs up. You need to call
sometimes
it
I
out.
don't like asking for stuff like that. And, no. I pop it up on screen with my little blue thing, but that doesn't always work. I need my moderators to do that.
That's funny because I don't like asking for donations, but I have no problem saying, "Come on, people, hit the thumbs up." And you know what I do is, like, a lot of people are watching on their TVs and they go, "Yeah, I don't know how to do thumbs up," and then I'll say, "Hey, grab your remote and do this. Go down, go left, hit the 3 dots."
That's how you do it on a TV?
Something like that. I don't know. It keeps changing.
Evidently,
I watch a lot of YouTube on the TV upstairs, right?
I don't
A
have
lot
a
of people-
smart TV. I don't.
A lot of people don't know that you can do that with your remote. So
That's good to know. Yeah. LT, by the way, I had said to hold on a second. Where is my cursor? This 2 screens thing makes it so easy to get lost.
use bigger arrows.
I'm not very good in Windows. Yeah, so LT replied to Zach by saying that's why he likes to buy from knife lovers online. I find that when you're buying within a community of enthusiasts, often it's a much safer way to buy because the person you're buying from will usually be a lot more upfront about what he's selling. I've very rarely regretted what I've bought off of another, someone on one of the forums or someone in a knife or bass or axe lovers community, because people are much more involved in trying to curate their name, shall we say, right? They're a lot more aware of how much their reputation means to them. Whereas if you're a drone in a corporation, hey, you're not happy? Sorry to hear it.
There's something I bought offline, and I had no problem doing it. Was my drone and my camera, for that matter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, those are the kind of things where you don't. They're so cookie cutter that it's not like what Tenenbaum was saying about with a paddle. Man, I love the wood grain on this one, and I kind of don't love the wood grain on that one.
Yeah, you hope that your mass-produced camera is the same as every other mass-produced camera. In fact, if it's not the same, then usually that's the problem.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. What's Russell doing?
Mark suggests I play Flight of the Bumblebee because it's a slower song.
Right.
Have you seen those guys do speed runs on Flight of the Bumblebee?
No, never seen that.
Oh man, it's crazy.
Zach says YouTube on the PS5 is what I use. I pull up the vid on the phone to leave comments or banter in the side chat. Well, Zach, I have been unable to locate a PS5, so piss right off.
That's what Zach says is what I usually tell people too. Like if you're watching on your TV, pull out your phone and use the YouTube app so you can chat with us.
Mm-hmm.
When I watch your live streams on Friday night, I got it going on the TV, and I have my phone by my side.
Hey, Russell,
That's how
I've been trying to find your live streams to watch after the fact because I keep missing them, but I haven't been able to find them. What's going on with that?
I set them all to private. And I don't have DVR enabled, so you can't, like, if you join in at like 11, you can't backtrack and watch it the early part. Yeah, you got to watch it live. My live stream,
He's living in the moment, Jess. He's living in the moment.
you got to live in the moment.
These
well,
days,
you get flagged constantly, anyways, because you always got your tunes playing, right?
Well, that's not an issue generally, but I'm usually really embarrassed the next day because of how drunk I got. So I don't want people watching it anyway. In the moment, it's fine. but Dennis,
that sounds like a Mallory comment.
Dennis, I've got like 350 songs that I know don't block me. They just want the monetization, and I don't care about monetization, so it doesn't matter. But if I played any Eagles or AC/DC, or I think, well, some bands will, all of their music is copyright, and they don't want any monetization. They'll just block you outright. So I can't play any of those.
How do you find which ones are good and bad?
Trial and error. There's no other way. Yep. And it used to be, and they've changed over the years. That used to be you could play a song that would get you blocked, but it would happen way after the fact, which wouldn't matter. But then it started happening in real time. Like I play a song, and like minutes later, suddenly this live stream has been terminated.
Yeah, they're algorithms. They've been really working on them.
So for right now, it's okay. That's off topic, isn't it?
Kind of. Oh, well.
But I mean, this is really boring without music.
I don't, as someone who makes part of his income with music, I don't dick with it. I don't take the chance that I'm pissing off a musician. I don't touch it. I kind of would like to have a backing track, but what I would like to do is just write something either with Apple loops or with my bandmates or something that loops smoothly so that it's in the background but almost not noticeable. That's what I would like to do.
Wish I had that ability myself. It'd be nice to be able to have tunes that are original to yourself, right?
It's almost impossible to do during a live stream like this where you have people involved.
Mm-hmm.
Right? I've never figured out a decent way to do that. But if you're just solo on screen,
right,
you can sign up for a music service like Epidemic Sound, and they actually have some decent music, which won't get you blocked. It won't. They don't take your monetization because you're paying for it. Essentially, it's like $20 a month.
Yeah, I have a membership at. Jesus, I don't remember what it's called.
That's a weird name.
I have no recollection because I haven't been putting out rain dance videos in so long that. What the hell is that place called? I don't know, but it costs me like $200 a year. But I mean, that's why I've got so much music in my videos. Like whenever I'm doing B-roll or whatever, that music is all licensed. I can use it, because I pay them every year for it. Because I'm so monetized and I'm making so much money that it's not a problem.
Me too. Me too.
I'm
rich.
I'm of the mind that as I start making money from YouTube, I'll start paying for things that kind of make sense.
Yeah. Fair point. I'm just making sure that we're not missing too much. Hike with Mike used to be a lead singer in a hair band.
Guitar player.
Yeah. What was in the weblord? Make sure the evidence of his live streams are gone. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. Lately, there's so much bloody fatigue happening here. Like I'll be sitting here in my house, and then at 9:30, I start to, that thing. And I said, I'm done. I'm out.
I usually get that a little bit earlier, like, well, sometimes around 2, and then sometimes around 4, and then sometimes around 6, in which case I just take a nap.
I hit a 4 o'clock wall pretty often. And I just
You
sort
must
of
do
have
a
to
lot of that out there, eh, Russell? A
Take
lot of
naps?
napping.
Oh,
well,
shit.
napping.
It's good for you.
I
Yeah,
don't do anything
totally.
else, so.
I never
Get
mind.
back on topic, Jess.
Yeah, where were we? Oh yes, buying stuff online versus. But seriously, like the reason why I had wanted to talk about this is because I'm currently buying things. Like I bought some rain pants for for canoeing with, and and as I was saying, I was trying on that bug shirt and thinking, now that I've seen this, I want one. When it was just something I'd seen online, because they're kind of ugly. And it just looked like it was some heavy ass canvas shirt or something online. It was like, no.
If you're going to be out in May or June, I think you want one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I have one of those little, goes here, just a little, goes over your hat. But no. It's a bug shirt is a much better purchase than one of those little things.
All right, let's talk bug shirts here for a minute. Like, so the bug shirt that was linked earlier in the chat, way earlier. It's pretty.
The original bug shirt, yeah.
Pretty impressive jacket. It was like $80 or $90 or something like that.
And
right?
they're not cheap. That's true.
Yeah.
They're not. No.
They're reasonably durable though, which is nice.
Yeah.
For example, if you're going to wear one tree planting, which I did, if you're going to be walking around in a clear cut with slash piles and sharp bits of wood, you need something that is not going to get destroyed.
Well, that's the question. Is like, how durable are they? And I've used bug shirts like this on Amazon are like $16.
Okay.
And it comes with a hood that I never wear because it's too dark. Like you put that on, you can't see shit. So I have I buy the bug hat separately. I've had this for a couple of years now, and it's it's starting to rip, and all the elastic in the spots are gone everywhere. But I still use it because it's still 99% good.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use this because
it's dark, so you can't see through it. Yeah.
But we could have a conversation on whether or not buying several of these, because I could buy 4 of these for the same price as that other one. Is that better than buying? But I don't have an experience with that other one, so I don't know.
This is the buy once, cry once versus several cheap ones.
I'm a big proponent of buying something that's quality if it's going to last for a long time. Like my chainsaw is great quality. It's a Husky. I love it. It's going to last me for years and years. But it's not the case every single time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah. What was that you were showing, Dennis?
It's just the one it just so happened to be right beside me because I'm packing for my trip this weekend. But that's just Canadian Tire job. I think, $29?
Right.
And I'll tell you, I think I've only worn it twice. But it's there if I need it, right?
Right. Oh, Ian the Weblord has one of those thermocell things. I keep looking at that and wanting to pick it up, but I don't know if it works well enough to throw my money at it.
I've got one.
I will tell you exactly, because I got one right here. Right. Inside the cabin, like if during the first summer here, before I had all the walls insulated, we had a huge problem with mosquitoes. And I'd run the thermocell inside for about 15 minutes. It would kill every bug in here. Yeah, and when it's time to stop because you start getting a soreness in the back of your throat. Okay. That's the time to turn it off. But outside, like say on the deck, I want to sit out on the deck. There has to be zero wind. If zero wind, then it works fine. But if there's a slight breeze,
forget about it.
Yeah, because it's just carrying the smoke away, the vapor away, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I get a kick out of. They'll sell you a holster that you can put the thermostat on your belt loop. So when you're walking through the forest, you don't get bit by mosquitoes. Well, all you're doing is you're leaving the smoke behind you.
Right.
Right. So, yeah.
This is
I
my
got one, and you know what? They're ultra expensive because you have to buy their little butane cylinders for them,
Right.
and their little pads.
Yep.
You could go on Amazon and you could buy aftermarket pad.
Butane?
No, pads.
Okay.
And then all over YouTube, there's all kinds of fixes on there to change the valve within the tube so you could fill up your own.
Okay.
Do you do that, Russell?
I haven't, because I never use it anymore. Like
Right.
ever since I put my insulation in here, I don't have a bug problem indoors and outdoors. It's so rarely useful that I'd never bother.
Right.
So I haven't used the thermosol in a couple of years now.
But I should check on, I bet you Amazon, I bet you any money you'll find on their refillable cylinders for those things.
Oh,
Because
sure.
you buy a 4-pack of cylinders, you're paying like $15. Well, you know what? Remember those little Bic coils? Just buy those.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Well, they. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Hey, Sansock is here. How's it going? Yeah. And that's the kind of thing that if because the thermocell thing looks so good online, and I keep looking at it on Amazon and all this stuff. But I would be disappointed if I bought it because I wouldn't have it. I wouldn't buy it to use inside because I don't have a cabin, right? It would be something that I would use outside. And then hearing what Russell says, but if there's any breeze, then you've essentially wasted your money. Then okay,
You almost need like 4 of them, right? But one out there, as a cross, so that if there is a little bit of a breeze and it's switching every now and then, that you're still covered.
But then I'm doing what Dennis says and buying those little coils because I can buy 4 of those. They come in a box.
Yeah.
You know.
What are they called? What are they called? We have some of those
I always call them coils.
Yeah, I always
They're
call them
different.
mosquito coils.
coils, but there's an.
Are they not? Are they Coggin? No.
I think Codeline makes them. No, I think they're off. Easy off. Yeah, off.
Anyway, you're better just spraying yourself with bug spray. If you,
Yeah, DEET cures all ills. I saw your setup there with that bug shirt, and then your differently colored mesh up here.
Yeah, this is I live out here in the bugs, so I gotta deal with it
Yeah,
like every day.
yeah.
And I actually don't like using bug spray because, either you're showering like at the end of the day, like every day, or you're getting into bed with bug spray on you.
Yeah,
I don't like it.
it's gross. Did Grace Martin need to be approved again? Oh, because of chiggers.
Apparently on the face you snack to them.
Grace, you racist person!
Oh,
How dare you
YouTube.
use the CH word?
Oh. Oh. Oh
Okay.
man, YouTube is remarkably clueless tonight.
That's funny.
Interesting what Sandsock says. We're just gonna get past that redonkulousness that YouTube just pulled on. Come on, again. Wait, I just tried to show that. Oh, another. Okay, I just used it. Sandsock says we take a Coleman lantern and hang it off the side. The carbon monoxide draws the mosquitoes away. That's an excellent concept. That's pretty good.
You know what I've wanted to try? There are like mosquito traps that you plug into the top of a propane tank,
Mhm.
and it just generates carbon monoxide and kills the mosquitoes that come into it. And I'm like, I want 4 of those. It's the same sort of concept. You put them out and 4 different directions and see what it does. I want to try that someday, but they're really expensive.
Russell, is your pond fairly stagnant in the summertime? Like, do you have much flow going through there?
It is completely stagnant. Water does not flow here. It is a beaver pond created from nothing. Nothing flows into it, and very little flows out of it.
So you are at mosquito breeding ground zero.
Yeah.
Wow.
Although, well, I mean, it's only a problem if we go generally out in the evening when it gets dark. Then the mosquitoes are really bad. But during the day, we don't see any.
Right.
It's
Just want to say
deer.
hi to Shawnee. Nice to see you. So what about black flies?
Black flies are bad for in May here.
May.
Yeah, the whole month of May is just a write off. You can't go out.
And they're quite a bit harder than mosquitoes to deter.
Mm-hmm.
And they
100% DEET works, but I have found that not much else does.
like black flies are nasty because like a lot of them don't bite. Sometimes they do bite, but most of the time they don't bite. They just come at you and they dive bomb your eyes, your nose, your mouth, your ears, and so it's constantly like if you're like constantly doing, come on, fuck off. Oh, sorry, demonetized.
Damn it!
But
They are
Whereas
quite
a deer-
sweet.
like a deer fly will fly around you
From
for
the
2 minutes and
plus.
then might try and land on you. Or a mosquito, well, they come right in and try to bite you, but they're not out all the time. But black flies are just bing, 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 bing.
Right.
Now, the mosquito is flavorless, whereas the black fly is actually quite sweet.
Good to know.
Well, if you've seen it, if there are
Hey,
enough
if
of them,
they're biting on us, it's perfectly fine for us to bite on them. Am I correct?
when there are that many of them, eventually several of them will fly into your mouth. It's
Yeah.
inevitable.
And all the other orifices.
Well, that too.
But so like your bug shirt and head protection thing set up. How is that against things like black flies and
Oh, it's
stuff like
fine. The result of that is that the place where I end up getting bitten is along my wrists and the back of my hands.
that?
Yeah,
Right.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
if you're busy doing something like paddling or holding a gunnel,
Yeah.
you can only slap the back of your hand so many times. So
Or
that's where you get nailed.
Riding my ATV, I get it a lot too. They go for
on
my
your
hand.
wrists, just above a glove and
Yep.
below the shirt. That's where they get you.
And I can't
Yeah.
wear gloves.
Okay.
I had scarring on the back of my hands that took about 20 years to go away.
Wow.
Well, that's good to know.
That was from 2 seasons of tree planting.
Wow. That's awful.
Grace asks, are there perhaps some brands of Thermacells that are more effective and some that are just crap? I think there's only one brand. I think Thermacell is it.
Thermacell makes a number of different, like they make one you could put in the middle of your patio table. It looks like a lantern and like a candle lantern type of thing. And they got a couple of different styles, but it's all under the brand of Thermacell.
Yeah. Sandsock says, last fall we had some friends over in a hay wagon for serving people. That lantern was tied up pretty high on the back, but we still got light from it. I like this idea of putting a lantern about 5 or 10 feet away and using it as a mosquito trap. I would like to just even like for the backyard here, I would love to put in a bat house or something, but that got the wifely kibosh.
I take the son-in-law camping, and he's a mosquito trap.
So you need a sacrificial crew member.
He is indeed. You know what?
You need a red
I've
shirt.
been camping with the son-in-law. Like we've been on camping trips together where you never see a mosquito or another bug, and you look at him and he's got big red welts all over him. Right?
So some of us are just
I haven't seen one.
some of us are just sweeter than others.
That's right.
Yeah. I just collect mosquitoes. It's terrible.
He spends the whole week going like this. Eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poor guy.
They could have him. Yeah.
Fair enough.
Yeah, they could have him.
Fair enough.
Like Tenenbaum said, he's a sacrificial lamb, right? So.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So
funny.
Jess, you were gearing up. You were buying stuff.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be gearing up a lot more than I did. I just found that I was so disappointed with the selection and the supply and the stock that I didn't buy as much stuff as I wanted to. I had really only my official reason for going was rain pants for me, and like breathable rain pants for a canoe trip kind of thing, and a few camping kit things for Camille, like English compass and whatever else I could find before she said, like I want a tent. Wow, okay. Shift. But like they used to have canoes. I wanted to look at the canoes. I think they used to carry Novacraft. There was not one canoe there. They had a couple of kayaks, and of course, because they're switching to like urban active urban or whatever, urban active lifestyle, whatever the hell they're calling it. Of course, they had stand-up paddleboards, right? Can you imagine 10 years ago them ever having a stand-up paddleboard at a mountain equipment co-op? God,
It is the hot new thing.
yeah, because the mountain equipment co-op customer used to be someone you would see on the hiking trail or roughing it at a campground, and now it's like the person doing yoga on a stand-up paddleboard in the middle of some picturesque lake with someone else next to them taking snapshots for Instagram. Am I bitter? Of course I'm bitter. Come on, this is me. But yeah, so I was there to buy a few things, and I bought fewer than a few things. That's where I used to buy my pemmican, actually. But I haven't seen pemmican there in a while. And it was cool. It was pemmican that was made in Saskatchewan by some First Nations. It was made on some res. It was a native-owned business. So I was like, oh, yeah.
Artisanal pemmican.
Yeah, but I haven't seen it. I don't know. But I think I'm going to get that shirt. I just get frustrated looking at the options that are out there now. And I have this dismal feeling that it's just going to get worse, that we're just going to be driven into more and more Amazon.ca or .wherever you live. As the brick and mortar or even the smaller web-based businesses disappear.
Ultimately, the question is when are you going to use the gear?
Well, that's the thing. Like, I don't get enough opportunity to hit the bush to use the gear a lot per year, which kind of means that my gear will probably last me decades. But I have a canoe camping trip tentatively planned for late July. Very dependent on the border between Ontario and Quebec being open, of course.
Are you coming up to see Pine Martin?
No, I would. Yes, I am. Hopefully. Yes, that is exactly what it should be. That is what should be transpiring. I've been speaking French all day, guys, so I'm not having a good time with the whole Hanglish thing here.
Let me know when you're doing that, and I'll try and meet you guys.
Cool. Chris says, Jess, did you read the most recent Explore Mag article about that urban brand topic? No, I have not, but I do believe I have. My subscription may have run out. I bought a 1-year subscription, but I don't know if it was exactly a year ago or not yet. But that sounds interesting. That sounds very interesting. Chris says, camp close to a windy point and sit near the smoky side of the fire, shallow breathing in a combo of bug jacket sprayed with whatever that is during the feeding frenzy. Icaridin? Do you guys remember where that episode of I think it was My Self-Reliance? It's like I'm sometimes not sure if it's which of Sean James's channels it is, but where he was going through his process for essentially impregnating his clothes with permethrin.
Yeah.
Now, what I like about that is, man, any bug lands on him and it's dead. But I don't want to sweat in permethrin impregnated clothes.
If you're in a place where ticks are going to become a problem, I think that becomes more and more attractive.
Fair point.
And I worry that that's going to be the case for more and more of us over time, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah.
We got
Because,
it here.
getting bitten, losing a little bit of blood is a nuisance, but getting Lyme disease is
Yeah.
ticks here.
that sucks.
We got ticks here like crazy.
Do you?
They're bad down in Niagara too.
Now I'm starting to feel myself like, have I got a tick on me?
We never used to have ticks in Quebec at all, but over the past few years, they've been sort of popping up.
Thanks, Tenenbaum.
Sorry,
Yeah.
dude.
Oh, can somebody look at me? I'm gonna get naked here. Can somebody look at me?
Do not get me demonetized.
I never worried about ticks till I spent a summer in Quetico. They've been in Quetico for decades now, and Lyme disease is becoming more common.
Right.
Why do you look like you're like 600 pounds right now? Like you're just balloons, like straight. Okay, all right. Your arms were out like this or something.
Just stretch it about.
Look at you like that.
Yeah. Grace says, I use permethrin religiously. I believe that up in Canada you still can't get human grade permethrin. You have to buy
I was
cattle
just
grade.
going to say that. You can't get it here.
Yeah.
You can't get what?
But there are clothing brands
Permethrin.
that are impregnated.
That are impregnated. Yeah. Yeah.
Wait. You can't get what?
Permethrin.
Why not? Sean James uses it.
Yeah, but he uses cattle grade and he dilutes.
Okay. All right.
Because you can't get human grade permethrin here.
So something I did not know.
Yeah.
Health Canada says no.
Health Canada don't want you having that stuff.
But why? I mean,
Health Canada doesn't want you to get cancer. I don't know.
well, that's the question.
And they don't believe you can get Lyme disease either. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Zach, it's the same in Quebec. Ticks were not here 10 years ago at all, and now they are. So thanks.
Well, just like
change.
where Sean James lives, which is, well, I don't know where he lives now, but he says there's no ticks up there, but there will be. There's ticks down here. And
Yeah.
It's a matter of time.
As I keep training deer to run up that way, he's going to get him.
Oh, no ticks up there, Sean? Take these deer. That'll
Not just
show
the
you.
deer, but higher wintertime temperatures,
Go
etc.
Bambi.
Go, Bambi. Go, Bambi. Go. Shut up, Jesse.
You were raising the roof?
I was about to raise the roof, and then I was like, dude, I'm going to be 50 next year. I don't raise the roof.
Oh, you're going to become an old curmudgeon.
God, I turned 52 this
Are you
year.
aging backwards now, Jess?
Huh?
Are you aging backwards now?
No, I'm just transitioning. I'm mid-transition between young curmudgeon and old curmudgeon. I'm
late.
trying to... Man, YouTube keeps flagging Grace Martin's comments because of the word chiggers.
They don't like that word, apparently.
It's like it.
I guess it could be a racial slur. It's been an insect as long as I've known about them.
Me too.
It might not. Wait, was her comments ever blocked when she didn't use that word?
No.
She used the word black in a certain way. Earlier.
Black, yeah.
Well,
So
which was fascinating.
Grace, can you just say something really, really ordinary?
Mundane.
Because I had a guy
Grace,
in
say hi.
my live stream who was every single comment got held, and we couldn't figure out why. So I just made him a moderator, so it wouldn't happen anymore. And he still is. Zen Incense Shop.
Yeah, hey, what did I do to lose my moderator status on your live streams? What the heck?
You still have moderator status because you were able to post a web link.
No, on Russell's live streams.
Oh, Dennis. No. That was a different channel, right?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Okay, because that's right. I
just-
forgot you're live streaming on a separate channel now.
Yeah,
If it
Grace
was-
just said hi, wrestling. No problem there.
Okay. Yeah. No, Dennis, I'll moderate you on my main channel
It doesn't matter.
if I'm there again. Jess, though.
Just I like keeping a riffraff out if you can. Right?
Yeah, that's why I'm not a moderator.
Sometimes I tell people don't make me a moderator because I like to, say, I like to talk shit.
You do love to talk shit.
Well, maybe it's not talk shit, but just to have fun and say funny things. But
To be the riffraff.
it's like if I'm a moderator, I'm like, oh,
Right, the fun is gone.
You're
Now
gonna
you have to be all
say-
careful. And...
normal things. Wait, I'm about to tell a joke. Is it going to offend anybody? That's why I retreat to self-deprecating humor. I got a lot to work with, so it's not a problem.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, I use self-deprecating humor, self-deprecating logic, self-deprecating conversation, self-deprecating thoughts,
And looks.
self-deprecating looks.
Yep.
But hey, I'm fully vaccinated. That's a subject change waiting to happen.
You still got that going for you. Yeah.
For my second shot in a week and a half.
Here's an interesting. Okay, I will tell one quick story about that, and then we'll move on because Zach said something interesting here. So I went in for my shot on Friday afternoon. I figured because the first shot kicked the ever-loving shift out of me. Like for 2 days, just awful. And my first shot was AstraZeneca, and my second shot was Pfizer. And I had heard that when you mix and match, it just wrecks you. So I went in and I went through the whole process. Took forever. Sat down. The nurse said, "Hi." I said, "Hi." She said, "Is this your second shot?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Did you have any side effects the first time?" I said, "For the 15 minutes while I was sitting here, no." Then I got curb stomped for 2 days. I said, "Oh, that's too bad." And I said, "Yeah, it really was." And I hear that this is going to be even worse. And she looked.
At least she acted sympathetic.
Yeah. And so I looked. I know, sorry. And then so she looked at what I had last time, and when I'm looking at it, she said, "Yeah, it's probably going to be bad." I was like, they said, "Great way to sell this thing." She said, "It's okay. Average about 3 days, 8 days max." And I said, "Let's stop talking." Okay, jab. This funny. But anyway, so I do. Zach says he started taking B1 supplements for mosquitoes. Have you guys heard of this?
A lot of people say that B vitamins, and it's not just B1, some people say B12, for example, makes you less attractive to them in terms of blood chemistry. I know people who swear by it. I don't know if it's true or not. It's one of those things.
Right.
I've heard the same thing for garlic pills.
Oh, garlic pills. Yeah. Popping them back. Hi there.
Well, supposedly they're odorless. Yeah.
I'm sure they work for vampires. But,
Yeah. Pop down like a half dozen of those before the vampire attack. Come get me. Apparently, garlic and tea tree oil works well for many bugs. That's good to know. Putting tea tree oil on my skin is an excellent way to assure myself of a wicked rash.
My wife puts together a tea tree oil mixture that we spray on the dog to try and keep the ticks off.
Nice. Did it work?
I don't know. How do you determine that? We're always pulling ticks off her, but I don't know. Should she have more?
Yeah, you never know.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Shit, the other day we went out to the day camp and come back like to the truck, and we pulled 5 ticks off her. They hadn't got into her yet, but they were in her fur. 5 of them.
So how do you deal with the ticks then, so that they don't just turn around and bite you on the finger or something?
They're pretty
don't bite
pretty
that fast. They take a while to get into your skin.
Okay.
They're not that quick. You can grab them.
Okay.
If I pull any out my dogs, which I haven't in a while because I treat them,
Give me a
but
sec. I'll show you something here.
I got a propane torch that I use on the ticks. They pop.
After they're off the dog, of course,
Yeah,
right?
of course, yes.
You know,
No, the
like
dog doesn't mind.
turning your dog into a
Put 'em on
canine torch.
Put them on a plank of wood and just they pop when they heat up enough. It's
Wow.
very, very satisfying.
Ian says he'll be fully vaxxed at 9:20 tomorrow. Hopefully not as bad as the first AZ. Man, that at first AstraZeneca just kicked me right in the everything.
It got me too.
Oh, crumbs. Like literally, I was telling I wanted to talk to Pine Martin about something, and I was trying to text him, and then my hands were shaking so hard that I kept dropping the phone, and like I kept making typos because I couldn't hit the. So I just finally called him, but my teeth were chattering. And he's like, "What's going on, dude?" I'm like, "Oh man, I'm in hell."
Here, I'm going to show you something here all around a tick. This is we keep a jar of rubbing alcohol. Those are all ticks.
Oh, you throw them in and they die,
Yeah. Well,
And then-
yeah, but
and then what? You keep them to gloat over? I mean, why do you keep
no,
them?
no. They say you should, if you're pulling ticks off yourself or off a pet, you should be saving them.
Okay.
Idealistically, putting them in rubbing alcohol is not the best way to determine if you had to send them in to get tested. But they say if you get one on yourself and it burrows in, and you take it off, you
Save
should
it.
freeze it.
Yeah.
Put it in a little Ziploc bag, throw it in the freezer, because it has to be sent in to see if it actually has Lyme disease. And
Right.
that's the best way to preserve it, right?
Right.
So
That's weird. Like I was in at the vet once with my dogs, and I as I was checking Willow, just waiting for the doctor to show up, I pulled the tick off her and went. And then the doctor walked in and I said, "Hey, I just pulled a tick off my dog. Do you want to test it or do you want it?" He's like, "No, just throw it in the garbage." I said, "Oh, okay."
yeah,
But
and
crush it first.
tick key.
Yeah, I've got one of
everywhere.
those. Yeah.
Keychain in my truck. This is the one that stays with our little rubbing alcohol container. Wife's purse.
Yeah.
Hanging off the back of my backpack.
Yeah.
Yeah, I every once in a while I have to get my dogs checked for Lyme disease because they like Junebug especially, she'll start like limping. She'll get stiff joints. So and then she's got to go on. Well, I usually put them both on antibiotics at that point.
Yeah, fair. Sandsock says I had the real deal for 3 weeks. Wow, that sucks. Well, I'm figuring that if we're talking about getting
Oh my god!
I thought he was talking about the COVID. Because can you get Lyme disease for 3 weeks?
Oh,
I
probably
thought
COVID.
Lyme disease was
If you
kind
take the
of
right antibiotics, you could potentially stop it. Yeah.
really.
Probably.
Does anybody know what are the symptoms of Lyme disease in a dog?
Stiff joints is the obvious one. I forget
Really?
the other.
I better get Molly checked then because she hasn't been herself lately, and she's having a hard time up and down the stairs sometimes.
Yeah.
And she shouldn't, like, she's only 7 years old, but
If she's had ticks on her, then yeah, definitely get her checked. Oh, hello.
Hi.
that's my city girl.
Sitting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very nice. Very nice to meet you.
Mm-hmm. Have fun.
I miss my city girl.
You want to take that up?
Yes.
That's got to be rough, man.
Yeah.
That's got to be rough.
I'm
She
just
keeps
taking
telling me I've always wanted to have a place up north. She says, "Go ahead." I go, "Yeah, but you're not coming with me."
right.
Maybe that's a good thing, maybe not, right? But no.
Wow. Chris says, I hear the lint roller trick works quite well. Unfortunately, I had to get one surgically removed after an unsuccessful removal. It was embedded deep in the fold of my arm close to the vein. Wow. Yikes.
The lint roller only works well on clothing. And once it's on your skin, I do the twirly method. I don't use a thing. I just sit there and twirl it around for a minute and it comes off.
It comes out, yeah.
Anybody
make
heard
those-
peppermint oil?
Mm-hmm. I've heard that.
Heard that one?
And they make those good sharp tweezers, which hopefully you can get a good grip with. But sometimes it's hard.
Right.
I mean, I could see how you would want. I mean, getting surgical assistance seems preferable to just digging into yourself. So yeah.
With an X-Acto knife.
Well, I've done that too to get like fiberglass shards out of myself, but it could be messy.
I used an X-Acto knife to remove a cyst in my eyelid once, and it got infected, and so now one of my eyes on the lower lid has like no eyelashes. So I learned my damn lesson. That'll learn him.
Okay.
You know, based on Chris's comment there, I wonder if they could burrow in deep enough that they can get into like an artery or something.
I don't think they need to. Like, just getting under the base layer of the skin, they get access to blood. There's no reason to go any deeper.
Yeah.
True.
And in fact, their
you
bodies.
you got veins that are pretty close to the surface, right?
The thing is, they kind of they really expand when they get a lot of blood in them, so they don't want to be too deep in, or that would not be good for them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They want to get their meal and then get out of there so they can lay their eggs and get on with life.
God, how did we get on this morbid topic? Let's get back to the thing, Jess.
There's only 2 minutes left, so what's the?
So, is anybody else ultra paranoid about ticks? Like me, I go in the bush and I'm like checking myself up the yin yang just to make sure I haven't got any on me. And like Russell, it's like now I got that little tickle and you're feeling for it.
Right.
You get a pimple on the back of your skull or something like that. It's like
you think it's an embedded
tick.
Yeah.
You know what? We don't put anything on for ticks. We just learned that, every couple of minutes you kind of flap your pant legs back and forth. You look for the ticks and take them off if you got them, and you carry on.
Right.
Yeah.
And when we get back to the cabin, we check each other over, and you can't live. You kind of can't live in fear of them.
Right.
You just learn how to deal with them.
You gotta have a good routine.
Yeah. But they are so bad right now. It's like it's just a paranoia. You get home and you want to check yourself. So
yeah, absolutely. Look, we're at 11 o'clock, so it's too bad. This conversation was in a nice dark place. So
well,
why end it there?
The sun will shine again.
Well, the sun is definitely shining behind you.
Started over a great topic and ended with a public service announcement. So.
Yeah.
You really got 17 people watching? You can't end now.
Well, you think I should just keep going?
If you got 17 people watching, there was a time in my life when I said, "Oh, if I got less than 10 people watching, if I get less than 10 people watching, I'm going to end it. But I have more, then I can't end it."
Okay. We'll go for another 15 minutes. All right.
Oh, we need to think of something else to talk about.
Yeah, let's not talk about ticks anymore, though, because Jesus. And if we're going for another 15 minutes, I have to drink a little bit more whiskey. Lubricating the road here. But we've established that Russell pretty much has to buy online because of where he lives. I buy online because I'm afraid to go out into the world of COVIDness. But that I prefer to buy brick and mortar if it's a small outfit. I don't give a crap about giving my money to Walmart. You know what I'm saying? If it's Walmart or Amazon, I'll take Amazon because, that's, that's Tweedledum and Tweedledummer in my opinion.
Are we getting political?
No, I'm backing off. I realize I shouldn't have gone there, but the whiskey is so freaking good. But I like the points that were made earlier about why would you buy a paddle online when you have to really touch them and really know that it fits you. Hey, Dennis, interesting question. I was mentioning earlier when Tenenbaum and I were talking about this that sizing your paddle is quite important. And there's the typical way you sort of do this, right? But did you ever see that Kevin Callan episode where he talked about sizing a paddle and he did an alternate method where he sat in the canoe? Did you see that?
Typically, that's the way you should be sizing, is based off of it should be based off the canoe that you own personally, because my opinion is you don't want a lot of shaft below your hand,
Yeah.
right? Because you're going to lose you're not going to have the same control over your paddle.
Fair. Okay.
But you also, with blade length and shaft length, you still need to have obviously enough to get it into the water. So
And
sitting in
blade
your
length.
own vessel,
Yeah.
this here that's just giving you probably like your
It's
your
ballpark.
right angles.
Yeah.
It's ballpark.
Yeah,
I mean-
but you know what? Ultimately, what are you comfortable with?
Mm-hmm.
Right? It's a matter of comfort, I think. Because I went to the local sales store in Hamilton or Burlington, and went there and I was checking out the one paddle, and you go difference of 2
the
inches
one
on
paddle.
a paddle makes a big difference, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
Mark in the chat just listed many of the factors that are relevant to how long a paddle needs to be for a particular situation. And he's right, Which boat? Are you in the front? Are you in the back? How loaded down is it? What style of paddling are you doing? All these things are factors.
Yeah.
If you're going to go with hit and switch where you're switching sides, then you're
Okay,
using
except
a bent shaft. It's a much shorter paddle, for example.
Yeah.
But then that presupposes that you already have a boat. Like, what's the rank beginner supposed to do then?
Well, let me suggest something that's not.
Wait.
I think it's probably not going to be popular.
Why are you buying a paddle if you don't have a boat?
They now make paddles that are in fact adjustable in length.
Yeah,
So
but
if
those
you-
are composite, right?
So it's a paddle you could buy till you figured out what length was the length
Yeah,
that
right.
you want.
Yeah.
For example, yes, it's not wooden. It's not attractive in that way, but effective.
Yeah, but effective. Yeah. Well, and you've got how many paddles do you have?
Me,
Yeah.
I think 8 or 9 now.
Jesus.
I have a couple I haven't used yet.
Okay.
just got them.
And Dennis, how many paddles do you have?
I probably got around 14 or 15, but hold on. But they're not. I've got 3 good quality paddles. All the rest are like the Canadian Tires and
Okay.
come out of one come out of my old fishing boat, and I got a couple paddles like wide pad. I've got 3 good ones, and I'm looking to get one more good one that I can use in my pack boat. But
Okay.
it needs to be a shorter one, so I'm just messing around. There you go with lengths too.
I was gonna say I've only got 2 or 3 that I've got real mileage on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um,
I've
But
got
then
my
again-
workhorse. I've got a bent shaft, and then I got a paddle or a beaver tail, an otter tail cherry paddle, which
Right.
is
Otter tails are the long spear shaped
Yeah.
ones, yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm not a pedal guy, but let me ask you a question, because I've seen people like with flippers, flippers that go on your feet that are like 3 feet long, and I know that if I ever put those flippers on, there's no way I don't have leg strength to do that kind of
Right.
stuff. So, like, how much of paddling is like I can't
Ah.
handle a paddle with that long a thing on it? I'm just not strong enough.
I think you're right that there's when it comes to surface area, whether you think of it as long and thin or big and wide, once the surface area is too big, the effort per stroke becomes quite great,
Mhm.
and then it's not as comfortable.
Yeah.
I mean, so for example, they make paddles for whitewater that have a really big blade, and the reason for that is because you get into a situation where you want to exert as much effort as possible to reposition the boat at that moment. But that's
Right.
not a comfortable paddle to paddle with all day, because that really big blade requires really big effort to move, and it's exhausting. So you would never want to use a paddle with a huge surface area
Right.
to paddle all day.
Because the effort will be too great.
Yep, and it's less efficient than taking more strokes with a slightly lesser surface area that's at a level of effort that it's not going to wear you out in the same way.
Okay, that sounds logical.
I mean, there's some kind of sweet spot where if it's too small, you're like doing this, and if it's too big, you're bearing down. And there's some point in the middle, which is comfortable.
It's like the gears on your bike.
But
Yeah.
you can't know that until you've tried it.
And it'll change as your strength changes. It'll change as you get older.
Yeah.
You know, if you start out as a younger person.
Fair point. Fair point as well. Yeah.
But you know, I think if you look at the paddle makers, they're making a paddle for an average human being.
Yeah.
So if you're an average human being, their average paddle is probably more or less right for you.
Yeah, this is true. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah.
Yes, a smaller person maybe needs something smaller, and then you've got the Hulk.
It's a matter of comfort too. A lot of times, you know, you could have the perfect size paddle, but if it hasn't got the right ergonomic handle for you, you're not going to like the paddle, even though
I like a T grip, for example.
Yeah,
Some people really like a pear-shaped grip, and it's a matter of preference.
yeah. That's one thing I don't own is a T grip.
Get it more on the whitewater style
Yeah.
paddles and the composites.
What type of paddler are you though, Tenenbaum? Are you more of a whitewater guy?
I'm
or
actually more of a lake guy, but because of the kind of tripping I did, mostly when I was younger, I went with whitewater paddles because they're very durable.
Mhm.
You know, when you're doing a lot of portaging and you also have kids handling your paddle a lot, wooden paddles don't do very well.
Yeah.
But composite metal paddles are basically indestructible. So I'd use those for a long time, and you get used to them.
Cool.
Very interesting. Yeah, Mark Putmans is asking if Tenenbaum does whitewater.
Only a little bit, because most of the time I'm involved in sort of paddle and portage type tripping, and you know, it's a little bit more difficult to take the risk of your food and gear under the circumstances where you have many more days of travel left. So whitewater is limited to stuff where you think there's no chance you're going to dump, which is psychologically that's always a risk, because you think, well, we can handle this, and then
Right.
maybe you're right and maybe you're wrong.
Then you go in the drink.
So no, if it's you know, class 2 or less, no problem. Class 3 or more, think carefully.
Right. Yeah. I was watching a Zyla Foxlin video. I no longer subscribe to her because she did a couple of interesting things, like building a cedar strip canoe. But I find that she's gone a little too far into the, you know, I'm cute kind of thing. She did like a cedar strip corset that didn't freaking interest me. But she built a really wide, shallow paddle for, I guess, rapids or shallow water paddling. But it looked like a huge freaking spatula, and I'd never even seen them that big before. So I, of course, immediately Googled it and saw that there are these really wide paddles.
I mean,
But-
something like an otter tail or really works only in deep water, because as soon as you know it gets too shallow, then you can't really get the blade into the water, and that's where the appeal of the wider squatter face is.
Yeah.
It's not as comfortable to push more water with the wide squat one, but it works. I mean, surface area is the ultimate determinant of how much.
But I would think that you have to make sure you get out a lot further from the gunnel, right? Because instead of being this wide, it's like...
Yeah, you can't get it as close. But I mean, we're talking, the width difference is you know, an otter tail is perhaps 6 inches wide, and maybe a whitewater paddle is 10 inches wide at the most. So
Okay.
Which is
You're
only
talking
different.
you're talking 2 inches on a side.
Yeah.
There,
So 2 inches out, further out from the...
yeah. And then again, hopefully that's below the water line. So maybe even below the line of the bottom of the canoe. So
One thing I'll say about the wide paddles is they're great for cleaning fish on too.
Good to know. I will likely never have to test that. Unless I wake up unallergic to fish one day.
Oh, you're allergic to fish?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I can't eat any of the poisson gras, which is,
fatty,
I guess,
fatty fish.
fatty fish, oily fish. You know, the red ones, the ones with all the omega-3s and the stuff that's good for you.
Okay. Like salmon, trout. Yeah.
Yeah, can't do any of those.
But what
I
about
can-
like walleye or perch?
Pike,
bass?
perch.
I don't. If it's white, I can eat it.
Okay.
If it's
Well,
white
good
and
thing, because if
boring.
you come up and I catch fish, you're gonna like my fish recipe.
If it's a white fish, I can eat it. Don't kill me in the middle of the woods.
No.
Then at least they'll be able to say, at least he died doing what he loves. Here's the thing. I don't want to die doing what I love. I want to die doing something I hate because then I don't have to finish it. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna die in my sleep.
As do I.
I want to die of a drug overdose.
I think you see spit take Jess there. You got him.
Do not spit take me on scotch.
Sorry, man.
Better to burn out than to fade away.
So true. Sandtalk is asking if badger paddles is still around. Yes.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
Still hanging in there.
Fiona and Mike. Yep. They're around.
Dennis, I don't know if I said this before you were on or not, or even in the side chat or not, but like I've had a yen for one of these Hunter and Harris paddles since I saw my first one. But I think that the Badger paddles are good quality paddles as well.
They are incredible paddles, and they have a little wider of a selection.
Yeah.
But, you know what? I think Hunter and Harris does a lot more of the laminated type of paddles, where they're taking a few different types of wood and laminating them together.
Yeah.
Whereas Badger paddle seems to be more a single piece of wood or same wood style.
I think, didn't we see some Badgers in that paddle shop in Ottawa, Tenenbaum?
I believe they had some, yes.
And they had you could have varnished or oiled.
Yep, they did. They had Badgers and they had Gray Owls. Those were the two
Right.
brands that they were primarily carrying.
No. I do know one thing. No matter what brand, I want an oiled paddle rather than a varnished one.
Yeah. It's good if you have the opportunity to be re-oiling it often. Right?
But I re-oil so many things that it's not going out of my way to re-oil another item, right? Because I'm always re-oiling axe handles, knife handles, my straight razor. Like I'm always re-oiling something. So what the hell do I care about adding a paddle into the mix, you know? Whereas I don't like having that plasticky varnish on, because if it cracks, you get moisture trapped inside, and then you start to get rot. So I don't want to go there.
My main tripping paddles are varnished. My good cherry paddle is oiled.
Okay.
I like the varnished ones for trips, but I always refinish them when I get home. Like, if the varnish has been breached or scratched, I'll sand it out and I'll revarnish it.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do to keep a varnished paddle going. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I appreciate that. Okay, we're at 11:15, so let's go another 15 minutes, because this conversation is suddenly very interesting to me.
Mm-hmm.
And we've still got 15 people in the side chat, so I think
You know what though? I'll give you one point of advice on a paddle is don't get so hung up on a name of a paddle or brand of a paddle. Find a paddle that suits your needs and one that makes you go, I like this paddle. If you're looking for something fancy, if you're looking for utilitarian, then a Gray Owl paddle or something along that lines that's mass produced or more mass produced might be the option for you, and it might be a little less expensive as well, right?
Yeah. Okay, so I want to say two things. First of all, Going Green Mom has shown up after we're supposed to already be off, so I guess it's a good thing we stayed on a little late. The second thing is, look, the difference between one of these Hunter and Harris and a Gray Owl, I think it's a big difference if I'm remembering the numbers. But
You mean cost wise?
Yes, the money that I would pay. But is it really big enough?
I think it depends on what you're looking for. I mean, when you're talking about laminated paddle that's made of a bunch of pieces and put together, that can be done very well, or it can be done so-so. I mean, I would imagine for the price, those Hunter and Harris paddles are put together really nicely. I would hope
I like,
so.
I like, and Tenenbaum, I've said this to you a million times, but I like giving my money to small outfits. I like giving my money to 1-2 man shops, best 8-person shops, like my Sadowski. I like giving my money to people who make things with their hands more than I like giving less money to huge companies that are punching things out or large outfits. So to me, the difference in price between actually it can be the difference in price can be spectacular, in which case I sometimes have to think I'm not a rich guy.
Well, for solid wood paddles, I tried to turn you onto a maker that we haven't discussed yet, which is teal paddles.
Teal paddles are nice too.
In
Yeah.
New Liskeard. I mean, they make a solid wood paddle that's as nice as anyone's, and is cheaper than any of the ones we've talked about.
Yeah, you've spoken about them before, and
Yep.
I think if I could find my cursor on these two screens, I would.
I'll tell you a funny story about a teal paddle. We were on a canoe trip a couple of years ago, and my buddy found one on a portage, and it had obviously been sitting there for quite a while because the varnish had been breached. So, like, you know how the wood will start turning black, right, from the mold.
Yeah.
And he brought this thing home, and had he refinished it, he would have had a gorgeous paddle. You know what he did with it? He turned it into a door handle on his shed. I was at his place a couple of weeks ago. He goes, "You just built this shed. It's all board and bat, right?" And he goes, "Yeah, I like my new shed." I go, "Oh yeah, oh, cool. You got a nice old paddle on there for a handle." He goes, "Yeah, it's the one I found on the portage." I looked at him. I said, "You're kidding, right?" He drilled holes through it. It's like, oh man,
Sacrilege.
I would like to say that at the Teal website right now, they say we only have cherry wood products at this time. Sorry for the inconvenience.
That's a wonderful choice, though.
I was going to say, man, cherry would be okay for me.
Yeah.
Jeez.
No, but
Well,
I guess
okay.
I guess that means they're having trouble getting ash and a couple of the other woods that they otherwise use.
I think everyone's probably having trouble getting ash right now.
I don't know. My forest is full of it.
Is it?
Oh my god, I cut down 2 ash trees about 3 weeks ago.
Really?
Beautiful. I got a bucket up still, but good hardwood. But you know what? You're talking about like price, eh? Like when you think about, say, for instance, the gray owl paddles,
Yeah.
they're probably mostly done by machine, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Hunter and Harris, Badger, and I'm not sure about Teal, but they're probably all 100% handcrafted.
Yeah, they use machines in the first instance. They might hand finish it a little afterwards.
Just take the comment down already. Jeez.
Yeah. Where the hell is that comment? Here's what I'll do. I will do this and then this.
Who's driving this bus anyway?
Yeah, who's driving this bus?
Hey, this bus reached the end of its line like 20 minutes ago.
No, it hasn't.
This is bonus line here.
We're just the passengers that won't get off.
But yeah, like I like the idea of a paddle that's 100% handmade. Now, I do realize that means you don't necessarily get the same uniformity that you will with something that's machine made and then just hand finished.
You're paying for a person's time.
But I don't care. Exactly. I will pay for the person's time. Because as I get older, as I get wiser, I treasure stuff like that. You know, I want to support people who are still trying to make a go of making stuff rather than just off, outsourcing. I see magic in stuff that is handmade from stem to stern, even if the perfection that one gets from a CNC machine is not there.
But you know what I would want to see if something's handmade? I want to see something unique about it.
Okay, that's fair. Yeah. So like 20 handmade paddles that are all the same wooden blank, and there's nothing unique. Yeah, I could see that.
No. Okay, so you walked into a store and you said, I want this bass, right? This bass guitar.
Yeah.
I picked this wood. I know somebody's going to make it by hand. Did you not get something unique about it?
Well, I mean, I got a very unique piece of top wood. They're not a full on. The word custom gets thrown around a lot these days, and I find it's not warranted. Like here, because we're talking about it. They have one headstock shape, right?
Yeah.
They have like two options for numbers of frets. They have a couple of body shapes, right? That is very much a jazz-based body shape.
Damn,
But
that's beautiful.
Yeah,
That
that
is
piece
really-
is spalted maple there, right? I picked out of a whole bunch of spalted maple. So the body shape I didn't have any choice about, but every piece of wood on here I selected from the options.
But it would have been cool if, like, the top part of that. I'm not sure. I don't know the various parts of the guitar, but the top part of that was like a dragon's head, carved.
Yeah, and there are guys out there who will do that. I don't need. I like the uniqueness to be in the materials more than I need a fancy design.
I'm not talking about a fancy design. Well, I mean, I guess I just was, but
I'd say a dragon head. That's pretty fancy.
yeah, that's pretty unique.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
You could
And fancy.
Doesn't Gene
Fancy,
Simmons
but-
have a bass like that?
Yeah, maybe. Maybe.
you could go pick yourself out a piece of wood and make your own paddle.
Yeah, I could. I would like to. I would like to have that level of skill at some point. I've never made a paddle, so I don't really know what goes into it. I have held many paddles. Like, I love the lines of them. I see the elegance in a well-made paddle, but I don't. Look, guys, I want to make a cedar strip canoe like you guys would not believe, even if it's a kit. And I would love one day to make a paddle because I just.
Well, back before COVID, they had a paddle making class that you could attend at the National Canoe Museum in Peterborough, Ontario.
Okay.
Presumably, when COVID ends, they will again. So you could go and take a day class at
I would love that.
making a paddle.
Yeah, I would love it. Like, I see the elegance of the lines. And what I appreciate about them is the elegance of line comes from the function, right? Because water is a it's a liquid, right? It's a fluid, same as air. If you design stuff so that it flows well, it's going to have a certain. There's going to be a flow to the design.
Jess,
But I have-
oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, but like I would have no idea how to make that.
I bet there's a YouTube video you could watch. As I've suggested, there was and someday will be classes again. But when it comes to a solid wood paddle, it's material removal. So
Yeah.
it's talking about getting the right piece of wood and using various implements to take wood away until you got the shape.
And I probably have almost all the tools already. Like, I got a spoke shaver too.
I suspect you do.
Yeah. You guys see that?
I'm gonna post a link to a paddle makers group I follow on Facebook,
Sure.
and a lot of really cool designs coming out of there. And guys are more than happy to share information with you for learning how to do all that stuff.
Cool.
What are they doing?
I'll send you an invite.
Yep. I'll take that.
What's your Facebook? Is it just Jess
Yes.
Corbeil, right?
Yep.
Well, I'm just not sure if it's JES or if it's JESSE. Corbeil. Oh my God.
Rain
Corbeil.
Dance Bushcraft is what it is.
Well, there's that as well. That is true. Hold on a second here. I'm trying to find myself on the book of faces.
Oh, okay. We
I'll
must
text
not
it
be
to you.
friends on Facebook for my personal account, so I can't send it to you.
Well, you're Dennis Rogers, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we are.
Well, why isn't that letting me do it?
Damn it, Facebook. Hold on.
I don't know. Technologically challenged here.
Hold on. I'm going to text you right now, even though I should not be looking at this screen when I'm on this screen. But, you know,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. Dennis, I'm texting you a hi right now from my Facebook account.
Okay, Jess Corbeil.
Yeah. Oh, Simone's out. Okay. Have a good one.
Night, Simon. Take care, buddy.
Simone for
It's
gay.
It's late.
It is.
Hey.
It is. Chris says unique gear preferences for discerning individuals as opposed to the mass-produced one-size-fits-all approach. There's a, you know, it's funny. You can always tell the difference between. I'll just bring hand tools into this. I could bring rifles into this, but I don't talk guns on my live streams. But you can always tell an axe handle that was carved by someone who understands how an axe handle is held, versus like the handles you get at a lot of on a lot of these like Canadian Tire specials that are just mass produced and pumped out. But years ago, like I have an axe handle here from like 1964, right? I have a Walters axe from 1964, back when they were carving axes, they held the axe. You know,
I was going to say
Grab
something
another one.
sexist there.
what?
But back when men were men and
Well, production was different. Production was different. At one point, at several times in the production process, someone held it and made sure that the feel was right. And that's why, like axes from the 60s and the 50s and the 40s and stuff, the handles were so much slimmer, but they weren't weak. Because at that point, quality workmanship was just workmanship. Do you know what I'm saying? It wasn't something special. It was just somebody makes axes.
That's
Somebody
the way it
makes.
was made. Yeah.
That's just the way it was done. And I have a massive love for the production values in those times and the items that you get from those times. Like by the time you get to the 70s and everything is plasticking right up, right, which was a process that, let's face it, started, you know, Second World War, but yeah. But it's a real match.
Did I show you the beer cozy that was sent to me? I got it in the
No.
mail today.
Today? No.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. I saw you got some nice stuff. You got you got an axe loop too, eh?
Yeah. I was just going to show you that there too.
Yeah. That's a nice one.
Tunis and Brittany from that new YouTube channel called Freak of Nature. Tunis Richards, Freak of Nature.
Nice. Yeah, very nice stuff. Yeah, I like it. Someone sent me an axe loop at one point, but it didn't have that that compression strap thing on it.
Is that, do they call that an axe molly? Is that what they're called?
Maybe.
Not sure.
I would know if I hadn't had like 4 drams of scotch tonight.
Maybe try 5.
No.
That'll
No,
straighten the game out.
Christ. Tonight I went from there to there.
Atta boy.
Yeah, one more probably. Yeah.
Russell,
Guys.
you're like the little devil sitting on Jess's shoulder.
Yeah.
That's just,
No, I'm probably on both shoulders going, yep.
It reminds me of something I always say. I'm Quebecois, so I'm a very balanced individual. I have a chip on either shoulder.
Just you only get one. You only live stream one night a week,
So true.
and like you got 17 people watching.
Yeah, I every week I'm like, if I can get to my live stream, I'm gonna be okay.
Come on, I posted your live stream on my Facebook and my community tab, so you can't give up now.
I'm not giving up, but I'm giving up on the scotch. I'm not having any more of this bottle. These bottles are expensive, dude. This is like a $200 bottle, and I've gone from there to there, and I can't buy another one, so I'm gonna put it away.
Oh, Jess, you don't know how much I don't care. Like,
I do have a suspicion, though.
No, I'm amazed at how much money you spend on scotch.
So am I,
It makes me
believe me.
think that I need to buy my favorite port more often because it's nowhere near as expensive as that.
Yeah, I've got a couple of bottles that are really too expensive, but a lot of the stuff I'm buying for my other channel is a lot more affordable. Because the thing about my other channel is I'm reviewing scotches and whiskeys that people can buy. You know?
Sorry, is that the channel that you have 72 subscribers?
Yeah. But like here's the thing, I started that channel because COVID killed my ability to travel for this channel, right? Which is why, I'm still doing my live streams, but my videos have come to a halt,
Damn it! I need to start a bushcraft channel so I can start buying all the bushcraft shit that I'll never use.
But you don't have to.
Wait till I have a yard sale, Russell. Come on down and buy some of mine.
Dude, Dennis, if you ever have a yard sale, tell me about it first.
I'm telling you, man, I got to go through my gear and start getting rid of shit. I'm almost having to walk through my lower basement sideways now, right?
Oh wow.
Well, Dennis, you can up the game on the giveaways. You can start giving away gear.
Good night, Chris.
That's what I plan on doing with the channel. I probably got enough new gear down there that I've either received through these things we were talking about earlier.
I would eventually like to get to the point where I can get a subventionné. Shit. What's the?
And all of our French moderators.
You're not going to lose monetization because you said that, Jess.
What the hell is a subventionné? Like sponsorship, so I can do giveaways. That's what I'd like to do. I'd like to have a giveaway, like every 2 live streams. I'd like to have a little like question and answer or something and do a giveaway. That's my plan for next year.
I'll tell you the best idea is if you can get the brand to do all the shipping and stuff for you, so you don't have to like take the product and then figure out how to ship it to you.
Yeah, fair point. Yeah,
I should do that too.
I always talk of my channel supporters, and I've got like 5 or 6 businesses that support me, and that's what we do. Like Algonquin Outfitters, they did really good for my live stream there a couple weeks ago, and they sent the prize out in the whole 9 yards. And I don't even ask for anything for myself.
Mm-hmm.
Ask just appease my viewers, right? So
yeah, I used to do really good at the hustle, and I'm not. Mostly because I spend all my time depressed and hating life. But one day I would like to really sort of start working on the hustle aspect. Well, LT is out because he's been up since 4. Good night, LT.
Good night, LT.
Nice to have you around. But yeah, so
LT or Lieutenant Survival.
I think he calls himself LT Survival to avoid the whole lieutenant-lieutenant thing.
Oh, okay.
Because, I mean, if he's Canadian Forces, then he's lieutenant. But, yeah, he just calls himself LT.
Well, good night, LT.
Yeah.
Actually, I'm getting about there myself.
I'm way
always
past.
my busy day.
Yeah. My 2.5-year-old will probably be up quite soon. Well, not really, like around 6:30. Which is okay because the 9-year-old I will have to argue with to get her up by 7:30.
Mm-hmm.
Yep, Ian's asking what your other channel is. You got a link handy?
No, but I can fix that in a second. Hold on. My other channel is really small, guys. Because I just love me some niche markets. There we go. Okay. Did I grab that?
You got this. Good hands. Good hands. Don't fumble.
Boom. Did that work?
Whose link is that?
Wait for it.
It's for my other channel, my whiskey channel.
Oh, okay.
There you go.
Did that work?
Done that. Got the dram.
Got the dram. The dram is very important. I do love me the dram. Guys, I got like 8 bottles today.
I saw that.
I seen that, yeah.
8.
But it was like Christmas at the Corbeil house, eh?
It's not enough for a hell of a party.
Now, if Canada Post hadn't been such a Ugh. It is remarkable to me that I can be standing there and he can have the box and put it down on my balcony and then see that it said leave a card, so he can actually pick up the box and take it back to his truck and then bring me a card and drive away.
That's bullshit. That's
so
bullshit.
that I have to go at after 1 the next day. It was like, what's
That doesn't even make sense. He has the box there.
He said for security reasons. I was like, my name is on that box. I'm standing right here. It was almost in my hand a second ago. And you're taking it away? J'en ai pas de choix, man. No choice. I'm like,
Apparently,
what's going on?
He's not qualified to assess that you're you.
So I contacted them. I went to Canada Post website and I used a little chat and I said, here's what happened. Make it right. And they said, well, that's our policy, sir. If the sender checked off leave card. And I said, are you kidding me? Are we really? The carbon footprint here is crazy. He drove to my house and now I have to drive to
why is the box even on the truck if they're not going to?
And there's the thing, right? He acknowledged that it was his fault. He didn't notice until he had waggled it under my nose like a tick thought. I was, oh my God, I was so angry yesterday. Today I was just like resigned to the fact that I was going to have to take my daughter's wagon and walk the 2 kilometers to the post office because, we're a 1-car family. So I just, so I took the wagon and I walked over with that sort of wagon sound behind me the whole way. Every time I'd catch up to people walking ahead of me, they'd sort of, what's going on? Excuse me.
You're like going for scotch. Yeah.
Going for scotch. Got my box. Took it
Out of my
home.
way. Out of my way. Go for scotch.
It's like, oh my God, it's a hot day. I could sure use a drink. Wait a minute. Anyways, everything got home in one piece. So, and my fiddler sent me as like a shit ton of sample bottles, because one of the greatest joys for me is sharing the wealth, right? Like this bottle, I'm going to be making like little 1 ounce samples for a couple of my coworkers.
That's nice.
So yeah, it's fun. I sent 4 samples to Alberta this past week, and I'm hoping to hell they got there in one piece. That's part of the fun. Part of the fun, you know what I'm saying? Where the hell did Russell just go?
Oh, he's playing around his fridge.
Yeah. We're gonna wait for him to get back to see what he's doing, and then maybe we'll shut her down for the night.
Grabbing a beer.
Oh, you're grabbing a beer. Oh, he has opened another beer. All right, I'm gonna pour another whiskey. Just kidding.
I'm going to bed.
Yeah. All right. Good night, Dennis.
Tenenbaum, good to see you, man. Russell, Jess, thanks. Everybody in the chat, and have a great night.
All right.
Love you, Dennis.
Take care, y'all.
Yeah, we're shutting her down. To everyone in the side chat who's still there, thanks for showing up. Going Green Mom, thanks for showing up when you did. We were going late, so you caught us. For everyone between now and next week, please stay healthy, stay sane, stay safe, be kind to one another. And everyone else is hearing peace, so there you go. Peace out.